Okay. So today, can they see this on the Discord?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So today we're going to be talking about attending video game conventions or conferences and why or why not. Why should you attend or maybe don't attend? I don't know. All right. So here, who can name some conventions? PopCon is Saskatoon. That's the Saskatoon one. Okay.
Right. I have to name that one.
Sure then. PAX, yes. There's actually a bunch. I know that West is in Seattle. There is an East. I don't know where. Somewhere in the US. And there's also an Australian one. Yeah. Where? What else? GDC, so Game Developer Conference. We'll talk more in detail about them. I guess, yeah. And that's in San Francisco every year. Okay. What else?
GameCon Canada.
GameCon Canada, yes, and that's either in Edmonton or Calgary. Yeah, Edmonton or Calgary. Which one was it in this year? I always keep forgetting.
It's in Edmonton until 2031.
Oh, it's always Edmonton.
Yeah,
Okay.
always Edmonton.
It's not Calgary. Get Calgary out of here. Okay. Okay. What else?
Saskatchewan Retro Game Con.
Saskatchewan Retro Game Con. Is that the Moose Jaw one?
Yep.
Okay. Retro Game Con. SK Retro Game Con. Okay. Are there any others?
Gamescom.
Gamescom. So that one's Cologne, Germany. Yep. Germany. I'll just put Germany. Okay. Any others?
Tokyo Game Show.
Tokyo Game Show. Wow, we're very informed. Okay, what else?
There's one in Shanghai, right?
Oh, there could be. I'm not aware, but
I think like the world's biggest one's in Shanghai.
oh, Shanghai. Okay. I was under the impression that Gamescom might have been the biggest one, but I very well could be wrong.
I think it's the biggest for the Western world, and then there's
Okay.
the Chinese one.
Okay, we'll have to. Maybe someone will research that later. We'll see. Okay. Any others? This is most of them. At least, yes. The Saskatchewan ones. These are the important ones. I suppose there's also. Oh my god.
I need to just buy my own markers and can walk around with them.
Yeah. Is there the Regina one too? What's it called? Was there?
I think it shut down.
It shut down. Renee, was there? Is the Regina one done?
Yeah, as far as I know. Well, I don't know if they're coming back.
We don't know if they're coming back. All right, Regina, it's done. Okay. Yes.
It's over.
Yeah, I remember SaskInteractive tried to get booths there once or twice, and then they shut down and didn't give the money back, and that was nice of them. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So here's a list of some of the ones that we did mention here. Is there any ones we missed? Oh, there's DreamHack in the U.S. Montreal International Games Summit, MIGS. Pocket Gamer Connects in Toronto, that's a mobile one. Midwest Gaming in the U.S. Summer Game Fest, U.S. Online. And there used to be E3, now it's gone. Okay. All right. So I guess how many of you here have attended a convention? Raise your hand. Okay, I'm looking at. You
I didn't go.
You didn't
myself,
go. All right. So there's four.
Halfway.
Okay, there's 4 people in the room. Any online people? Did you attend any conventions? Doesn't have to be these.
Yes.
Which one?
I've been to GDC
Right.
when I was at Talk Blog.
Okay, right on. So cool. Well then, we're a very well-informed crowd. This should be very easy. What's a video game convention? And what's a video game conference or trade show? So what's a convention?
Place for a particular industry workers to meet up and investors and so on.
You got it. That kind of covers both a bit, but I guess what's the difference between a convention and a conference or a trade show? This is kind of getting the weeds here.
Is convention more for PR, whereas a trade show would be more industry connections?
Yes, generally, and I mean this will change per industry you're in, but generally a convention is public facing or is business to public, B2P. So you as businesses are showing stuff off to the public, and then conferences is B2B, which means business to business. That means so like these are for professionals in the industry to come together and connect and do stuff. And there may be a public portion or maybe not, but the idea is more for the professionals, whereas the conventions are more for the public than it is for the people actually making games. Okay. So we've already covered that. So for the people who did attend conventions, why did you bother attending? Why bother? Why'd you do it? Why'd you do it? 4 of you in the room did it. Why'd you go?
I was young and impressionable and saved up for a few months for a fun time and wanted to see more of the industry before I was really prepared to actually benefit from it.
Fun is a fine reason.
Yeah.
You went for fun.
Yeah. Tristan said networking and just to see what the industry is like.
Okay, so networking and education. Patrick, could you look in the other room if there's other markers?
Yes.
Thank you. So sure, networking and I guess you'd call it professional development or education. Sure. Any other reasons?
I went to get feedback. I wanted to see people.
Feedback, sure. Yeah, that's right. That's great. That's good. So feedback. So you were showing a game.
It works. I tested.
Okay, thank you. Okay, professional. Oh, look at that. Professional dev / education. Okay. Feedback. So you were showing a game, Russell.
Yeah.
Okay. What was there any other reason you went?
Well, I wanted people to know my game existed.
Marketing.
I wanted to see them play and get feedback, and
So marketing your game. You wanted to
Marketing.
show it off.
and for fun as well.
For fun.
That
That's
one
good.
said.
Fun is good.
Eric said they are good deadlines.
Deadlines. Oh, I like that's a good answer. That's a good answer. Very good. Okay. Yeah, so those are all good reasons. Those are all reasons to go. That's very good. All right. Now, I went and attended some of these conventions, which I'll talk about in detail. Why do you think I attended them?
To talk with publishers?
Sure. So I guess network. We already had that over there, but I guess I'll say sure. Publishers, we'll say. Yeah, I wanted to sell my game to a publisher, or have them pay money, publish my game. Sure. Why else would I attend? Maybe they're the same reasons.
I assume marketing as well.
Yeah.
Even though it's low volume, but
Sure. My reasons are mostly the same. These are some reasons why you could attend, or why could I attend. You get to see other people's games. You maybe could get a job, meet developers. But the reason that I went is to promote my indie game, meet publishers, and I liked traveling. Just enjoy it. It's fun. Okay. So, if I want to showcase my game at a convention, what do I need? This should be very easy. You guys have done it. Very easy. Ooh, that's very good. So I heard a prototype. Prototype, something playable. Prototype or demo, yeah.
Signs.
Signs. So like the big banners or
Big
posters.
banner is great. Yeah.
Yeah. Banners or posters. The bigger the better. What else?
a computer.
Computer. So I guess we're assuming that we're showcasing a game at the convention. That's what we're assuming.
A
Yeah.
booth?
A booth. Very good. Very good. It'd be sad to just set up in the middle of the floor.
Just bring your laptop, take it down.
That'd be very strange. Very strange.
Get around fees.
Way to collect feedback.
Sure. Ways to collect feedback. What would be some ways?
Questionnaire?
What type?
Like a feedback form
A feedback form? Do you mean like online or like a piece of paper?
online.
Sure,
I
sure.
guess both, then.
Yeah, no, you could do both. Online questionnaire. Yep, so that's really good. Yeah, you should have, and you can have both. You can also just have paper feedback forms and pencils. So paper feedback, that's low tech and it works. Don't have to worry about the internet. That's fine.
Something like a QR code, so that way people can actually follow and wish lists, etc.
Very good. So a QR code that goes to your website or Steam page. Very good.
Some kind of a prize to give to people, something that's
Oh, a prize. Yes.
so if it's stickers with your game characters or whatever on it.
Prizes. Okay. So you give prizes for people playing the game, or what do you think?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Some people just gave out some stickers. But-
Sure.
But yeah, if you were to give a prize to anybody who gave feedback for your game, that'd be good.
Sure.
Or anyone who wish listed or
Or wish list, yeah.
Yeah.
Here, have a piece of candy.
Those are good ideas. I like I guess I did once where I gave prizes if you joined the email newsletter. I just said, okay, if you join the newsletter every day, I'm going to be giving out a free game key of my game, a code, and if you join the newsletter, there's a chance you get it. Yeah, very good. What else? There's lots more.
Some sort of spectacle
Spectacle.
or like a strategy surrounding that, I guess.
Like a big TV.
A way to draw people in.
Okay, so something like, do you want like a TV or a screen and then a video
Yeah.
playing on it or something, or the game?
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, absolutely a TV. Now, yeah, depends. Some places will give you the TV. Other places you can rent it for an exorbitant amount. So yeah, I guess what video should be playing on the TV?
your trailer.
Your trailer. That's right. So you should just one of your screens at your booth should probably just be your trailer just looping just forever, just in shows. And your trailer should have lots of
Gameplay.
gameplay. Yes, gameplay. Yeah, no long lore dumps or like lots of text to read. Show gameplay, unless your gameplay is text. Okay, yeah, for sure. So trailer.
You should also definitely have game art. I think. Something for them to look at.
Sure. So yeah, we do banners and posters, but yeah, definitely sure. Like yeah, you should have art. You should have art. What else?
You should have a Steam page.
Sure. Yes.
Yeah.
So you should have a Steam page. What other online marketing things should you have?
A website.
A website's good. What else do you put on the
Social
website?
media.
Social media? Sure. Yeah.
Email list sign up.
Yeah. Social media is really good, and then yeah, like email newsletter. So when you go to the website, it tells you like, hey, join the email newsletter. Like an annoying pop-up pops up, says, hey, you should join this. Yep, very good. In marketing, certainly things you want to collect are like wish lists and people joining your Discord. But so far from what I've heard and what I've seen, email newsletters are the most powerful things to collect. There, if you can get those, that's better than a wish list. That's better than a Discord join.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah.
That's what and I also believe it to be true.
Okay.
Apparently, email newsletters have a much higher conversion rate than any other.
Yeah,
form.
those are the hardcore people.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can go look up online like studies about this sort of thing.
Like if someone's willing to give you your email, then they're a more committed person.
They're a more
Okay.
committed person, and maybe they're hardcore. Maybe they're hardcore PC people because they have emails. Or everyone has an email, but yeah. Anyway,
Plus, it's like just more intimate than just getting
It's
a
more
general
intimate.
Steam wish list advert.
Yeah.
You could directly connect.
okay. What's more ethereal? What else do I need to bring?
Food and water.
Sure. Yeah. Sure, that's good. Yeah, you'll get for hungry and thirsty, and boy, food there costs a lot of money if you don't want to leave the convention center,
A
and sometimes
pitch.
it's pretty hard.
You should have a pitch for your game.
Yes, you should have a pitch. So you need to have your little spiel of like, hello, this is Kaiju Wars. It's a 2D turn-based strategy game where Godzilla comes to destroy your city. Do you want to give it a try? That's a pitch right there. 2 or 3 sentences. Yeah.
Could dress up a little bit. I don't know if someone could dress up as their character.
Oh man, booth babes. back at E3, huh? Oh, okay. You might want to bring controllers if you use them, but maybe you don't. You don't have to. Okay. Yeah, that's
You need some helpers.
some helpers. Yes. It can be very overwhelming manning a booth of like, oh God, I have to be here for 12 or 14 hours. And if I go to the bathroom, I'm losing customers basically. If nobody's manning the booth to interact with them, they might bounce off. So yeah, if you don't have someone to help, you can't use the washroom very easily and can't take lunch or can't even see what's going on. Definitely. What should you hand out to every single person who comes aside from stickers?
Business cards.
Business cards. Yeah. Business cards. So yeah, you should print out like something like 2,000 or 3,000 business cards. They print them in batches of thousands, so just go for it. It's not that expensive. Okay. Well, right on. This is looking like a pretty good list. I think we've covered most things for sure. Okay. So here's just a shorter list. Here's one of my booths at PAX West in Seattle. This is no doubt, you can guess, COVID was on, the dark days. So we have a booth, 2,000 plus business cards. 2,000 wasn't actually enough. We actually ran out and had to print more, but it was a long convention. It was 4 or 5 days. They actually gave us this very nice booth. Like they gave me this booth and they printed out this really nice background for me, and that was awesome. You need to bring banner, maybe computers. What's wrong with my booth?
One computer.
It's only one computer. Ouch, rookie mistake. I should have had 2 or 3. 3 would have been pretty crowded, but 2 certainly. There should have been 2. Controllers, email list sign up, run a raffle or prizes. The email newsletter is very easy. You can either have a QR code or even just have a piece of paper saying write down your email. Right there. You have a sales pitch and trailer, and then all this other stuff that you need as well. There's even more, okay? Notice, like, here's my business card. It has a QR code. It has my contact info. It has the game there. So that's what we printed, okay? So very good. All right, so what about costs? Attending a convention costs money, probably. What are the costs?
The booth.
Travel.
The booth, travel, sure thing. All right.
Do you typically need to buy a ticket to the convention if you have a booth?
Depends.
No, well, yeah. Normally the booths are expensive enough. That counts. So yeah, I guess I heard travel. So, airfare or driving. Planes are expensive in Canada, especially. Yep, definitely. I heard booth. That's a big one. It depends where you're going. Well, you're going to find out soon enough. We're going to do an exercise where you do more research on this, but booths can be very pricey depending on how much, what you want. Yeah. What else?
Housing, food.
Yep. So yeah, accommodation. So that's a hotel or staying at a friend's. If you want to be really cheap, you stay in a hostel. Those are much cheaper. And then food, yeah. Food is certainly not on the same level of expense as those other ones. But still, it adds up. What else?
All your different marketing material.
Sure. So marketing.
Posters, business cards,
Okay, yeah.
signs, whatever.
Posters, business cards.
Renting a TV or
Sure.
whatever other electronic you need to set up.
Yeah, so sometimes the booth, sometimes they'll give you a computer and TV, but other times it's extra or they just won't do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you mentioned having
Oh,
2 or 3. and
It's just booth to booth.
most people just have one to start.
Yeah, so a TV or computer. Yeah, so certainly taking a desktop on a plane would be awkward and hard. Yeah. What else? Now, I did hear marketing. I guess what's the most expensive marketing asset aside from so there's physically printing stuff. What else is very expensive?
Stuff we're getting away.
Okay, sure. Merch. Sure. Yeah, stickers and shirts. You don't want to get too carried away with that. You really don't want to be losing more than $1 per person who comes to your booth. That will get expensive quick.
It's not really specifically for the booth, but But your trailer costs money?
Yes, yeah. So you do want your trailer for your Steam page. So like it's double purpose, but your trailer is certainly like your most expensive marketing asset. I mean, ideally you can make it yourself, but maybe if you have to pay someone else, it can get expensive fast in the thousands, if not like a $10,000 trailer for a larger game. Yep, trailers are expensive. Definitely. Okay, well that's the majority of the things. I guess you could also say your demo, but you kind of just already have to have that. So we'll just how much did that cost to make? All right. So yeah. So something like this is like a rough breakdown, something like that. Okay, so flight, probably $1,000. Hotels, food. And again, hotels can be much cheaper if you're willing to stay in hostels or something. But not everyone is. Booth, banners, business cards, trailer, demo. Okay. Okay. So yeah. How is that a lot?
It can add up.
It can add up. Yeah. I think it's quite a lot. So like certainly like it's not crazy to have visiting a convention cost you $3,000 or $4,000. Certainly, it certainly could.
At least you can reuse some, like your trailer and your banners get reused.
Sure. Yeah. 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 No, it's not all completely
It's
one-time use.
Multiple places.
Okay. All right. So now we're gonna see. Now we're gonna ask this question: is it worth attending a video game convention in the first place? So we just saw. What are some of the pros and what are some of the cons? Let's go through them, and we'll be learning more of these as we go. But let's just list them first, going into them. So there's always a cost, right? Even if it's not just money. Like remember, attending a convention means taking away time from something else. You could just spend that time working on the game or working, your actual paid job or something. Or spending time with your family and friends. So there's always a time cost. So we always have to consider, is it worth doing this at all? I don't know, is it? So let's start off. What's a con?
So you said money, time costs?
Yeah, sure. So I guess money. So it's expensive. It takes time.
And energy.
Sure, yeah, energy, yeah.
After a few days of being really social for like 10 or 12 hours.
Sure. It's exhausting.
I want to sit down.
All right.
Low volume.
Sure, yes. Okay, we're already getting very good. Low volume for what?
Exposure.
Sure, okay. Okay, awesome. We're already jumping ahead. Yeah, well, Renee?
Sorry, I was just saying the same thing.
Sure. What about pros though? Surely there's some good things about it.
You get
Networking can be very powerful.
Yeah. Networking. Okay. What were some of that first slide we talked about?
It's fun and you get feedback.
Sure,
You
it's
can
fun.
Market your game.
It's fun. Though, it can be fun, but once you start manning a booth, it can also turn into work and not be fun. Yeah, fun? Okay. Yeah, feedback is good. Nothing wrong with that.
It's good practice to pitch your game.
Ah, that's very good. Practice, yeah. Sure. What else? Are there any other pros? Okay, well, I guess networking go two ways. Of like you can go look at publishers, make friends, get jobs in the future, that sort of thing. There's lots of stuff there. There is marketing, feedback. Yeah, I mean those are all good. I guess education, like you're going there and you've got a pulse on the gaming scene. You're seeing what other games are in the works. You're meeting the industry professionals, similar to networking, but You
Yeah.
can maybe learn a thing or two.
Actually, GDC was really good for that. There was talks every single day the event ran, and they were like nonstop overlapping talks. So it was actually trouble to find like one to choose over others.
Oh, it was hard. Yeah.
But they have most of them online, or
Right
at least
on.
section.
Yes, that's right. The vault. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, here's some of them. We already went over that. So it costs money and it takes time, but then you get to see cool games. Maybe network with people, meet developers, job, publishers. You can promote your game. You like traveling. Some of these are very good here. I do like the practice, and the feedback here is very good. And Eric mentioned earlier, I really liked having a deadline. That's really good. That's very nice. So there's some pros and there's some cons. We're going to delve into that a bit more. But now we're going to learn about what conventions are out there. So I don't think we need to, since we're split up remotely. I want everyone here to. I'm going to post this in the Discord. You're gonna pick a convention and then do research on it. And don't pick a convention you've already been to. Okay, pick a different convention. There's a whole bunch of columns in the spreadsheet. You're gonna pick one of them, do research on it, and then in like 20 minutes, you'll give a very brief overview of what we talked about some of them before. Okay. So we need to post that. Okay, so I want everyone to open up this spreadsheet here. Okay, so you're going to open up the spreadsheet, and you're going to take one of these columns here, and you're going to pick one of them like you have not been to. Maybe up to you if you want to do one you've even heard of. So there's quite a few. There's PAX West, Game Developers, Tokyo Game Show, GameCon Canada, Gamescom Germany, Pocket Gamer Connects, Montreal, and then maybe Shanghai. I don't know. So pick one of these columns, and if there aren't enough columns, it's okay to do. Someone can do duplicates. It's okay. And then just fill out these rows here of just this information. Go to their website and find their information on stuff. Okay. And costs. So plan a trip to these conventions and see how it goes.
By the way, is Pocket Gamer Connects the Shanghai one?
Okay, I think we're gonna resume now. Okay, so first up, let us do Mark for PAX West. So Mark, we want to make sure to keep it brief because we got a few people to get through. Mark, what did you learn about PAX West?
They stopped reporting numbers in 2011.
Oh, did they?
After 70,000, they just figured that it was too difficult to keep track of so many people after 4 days.
Huh. Okay.
But it quickly shot up from started in 2004 and was like a few thousand at first, but it got really popular really fast. And of course, spread out. This was the first PAX, spread out to like East and then
Sure.
the other ones after that. But
Yeah, I remember attending, and they also pulled out the claim of like, oh yeah, it's too hard to count the numbers. Wow, it's like, come on, come on, guys! Like, someone stand at the door for clicker. No. I don't know how they don't know how many tickets they sold. That's kind of bizarre. But maybe just an excuse, and they don't want to say it.
Yeah.
Don't know. Anything else about them?
4 days. General attendance is at $70 a day, so $250 for the whole conference, though. USD.
Sure.
It's in America, so take out account for the currency exchange.
Yeah. And was there any specific games that should showcase here, or no?
I couldn't find any information. It just seemed like it was general stuff. Like it wasn't even like just industry as well. There was a lot of just like, oh, I'm just here for the entertainment side of it.
Sure.
As well. So it just seemed to be very general.
Okay, right on then. All right. How expensive? Oh, okay.
I put
It's all right.
$20.
Okay, so you don't know how much the booth is. Oh, that's all right. Okay.
I couldn't find any of that.
Okay, no worries. All right, so let's move over. We have Ian with Tokyo Game Show.
Okay, let's go through it.
Yep.
All right. So it's not in Tokyo. It's beside Tokyo.
Oh,
That's okay. So
Immersion
it's Tokyo
ruined.
Disneyland.
oh,
Also
Disneyland.
cheap, I think. So anyway, it's about 5 days long. There's industry days and then there's public days. It's huge. There's like 250,000 people attending last year. It's kind of for the big titles, like the Capcoms, that kind of stuff. But also there's like a very strong indie presence as well. So lots of people attending, a pretty solid B2B audience, lots of categories of gaming, from like smartphone, AR, VR, esports, accessibility. But plenty of the wait times are brutal. It's very crowded. Japan is still very hot in September. Language barrier can be an issue, and it's not really oriented for like a casual family outing like a PopCon is going to be. It's more expensive to attend, but for business folks, this isn't the most unreasonable thing. Like it's gonna be like, well, to your ticket like $30 to $60 per day to go and attend. Flights, they've come down in price. There's some like low cost carriers can do that, but yeah, Tokyo is not too expensive for hotels, and food is not too expensive, but you might want to have fun and go outside the convention hall for food.
Oh, I didn't know Tokyo was not that expensive.
Compared to other major cities, for sure. And then just the other standards cost for your booth signage and whatnot. Depending on how bespoke it is, it can range from like $150 to $1,000.
Sure.
That kind of thing.
Okay, $3,000 for Canadian for a booth. Interesting. Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you. That's very, very informative. Any specific genres? So this is just big. It's everything.
This one kind of seemed to be everything. So it's like the big focused on the big domestic Japanese companies that ship internationally, with a strong indie presence, a lot of applicants. It's probably the upper tier indies like Q Games in Japan or whatever, where it's like they're basically like just AA, that kind of thing.
Okay, right on. Thank you. What about GameCon Canada? Someone wrote here. What's your name, stranger?
Me, Owen.
Owen. I will
Possible
put it
spelling.
there. There we go.
It's in Edmonton, so it's actually pretty local to here. Convenient compared to most of the rest. 3 days long. It said 40,000 attendees. In 2025, it said just over or something. So it's approximate. And yeah, the pros are immediately what jumped out is the North American Games Industry Summit, which is like a secondary event that runs concurrently with all the industry publishers and like workers and so on.
Okay.
Could be a great way to network because everyone is there to network. Although I didn't get explicit details on that, like number of attendees and so on, but can just lump it in.
That's good.
But yeah, it's close to the most. Doesn't require a passport, so if you broke the law, it's illegal to travel there. Don't need to get a
Good to know.
waiver or whatever it's called. Also it's Canadian industry, and so therefore might have more relevant contacts and like knowledge being spread around, information and opportunities rather than like a broader, general, more global thing such as like game dev conference, right?
Sure.
Compared to most of our conventions in the country, I don't know if it's the largest one, but it's one of the biggest ones. That being said, though, like actually a con to that is the ticket prices are only $108 for the full weekend, which is like pretty cheap.
That's all right.
Not super cheap, but pretty cheap in comparison to say the price for like game developers conference, which is intended for industry veterans, whatever. That cost me over $1,000 to attend. So you might have a lot more just people off the street mixed into that 40,000 than say an expensive show like that.
Sure.
As I said, $108 for that. Also, it might attract less like global players, right, in the industry. But like there might be a heavier presence of local ones, so that's not necessarily a con. Could work to your advantage. Right there, flight. It's way cheaper than I thought. $271. Hotel, about $90 was like middle of the road for a night. Food transport $80 a day. It's like 3-4 days. And I couldn't find booth info, and unfortunately, everyone here didn't pay for their booth. So I just did your
Well,
estimate.
I think that answers your question.
Yeah.
Everyone here didn't pay for their booth.
Well, for us, maybe it would be free, right? Maybe I should just
Right?
write free, honestly.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
You can probably get it for free.
There we go.
Yeah.
And then business cards, probably same for everyone else, like 150, 300, depending on how many you get. Same for banner. Well, actually, that varies depending on people's answers. I've had it priced out though. For example, for the Game Dev Club, I think is it Vistaprint or I forget. But they said something like 250 or something. I forget the number. Roughly in that ballpark. But and then yeah, you have tech, right? So you don't need to buy anything, do you?
You're right. So this is really important that you bring up, is that this is actually cheap enough that you don't have to fly if you didn't want to. You could drive. It could be just gas money.
Yeah, which is like probably half
and
that.
You could bring your own laptop and desktop. It's close enough to bring hardware in your own. That actually makes this convention very cheap to attend compared to the other ones. Like you might be able to attend this for $1,000, whereas the other ones are more than $1,000.
Yep.
2 or 3 times as much.
Yeah.
So that's a very good point.
Also, I have a question for Patrick. I don't know if you know, but the Nagus, is there a separate fee for that?
Nope, that was bundled in with
Cool.
the booth versus Saskatchewan. That was part of our negotiation.
Okay, typically people would pay for it if they weren't
Yeah.
associated. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, right on. And was there any specific type of games or no?
That I didn't see. A lot of it was indie games from what I could tell. Local, like Canadian indie games. A lot from Saskatchewan. Like I recognize several. And people, like, for example, there was a board game called Eulogy, which I remember hearing news about a successful Kickstarter.
I
that
bought
was
it.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Cool.
Yep.
Right on. Okay. All right, so we have Patrick doing Gamescom.
Yeah, so that's in Cologne. It goes for 4 days. It has an average of attendance of around 370,000 people.
Yeah, so that's huge.
Most of the games that seem to show up are PC/console titles. Those seem to perform best there. They do have a bit of a mobile section, but it seems like you're probably going to perform much better if you're a PC or console game. Reasons for going is speaking with publishers, investors, just general industry people, like meeting with press, getting feedback from industry experts. They also have a Steam event which can help ship titles or drive wish lists as well.
Very good.
It can cost a lot to go to Gamescom, and it's very difficult to stand out. Since there's so much noise,
Sure.
it's so easy to be forgotten unless you do something very unique. You really have to have that strong selling point to stick in people's minds.
Okay, so you think there's a lot of games and they're high quality.
Yeah. The convention pass ticket price, I put as $0. I'm pretty sure it's included in the booth.
Sure.
The flight is around 2,600. The hotel's probably another 2,000. Although I heard it's cheaper if you stay out of the city and take the train in. And the train's only 30 minutes, so it's not too bad to do.
Yeah.
The food and transportation, that's probably around 480, 500 for the 6 days you'd be there with the flight and everything. The booth would be about 1,100, 200-ish. Then the business cards obviously would be the 150 or so. The banner, 200. Laptop, I think you can bring that. I don't know what they provide. GCC this year provided TVs and everything for you. And if you got an Asus booth, I think you also got your computer provided, right, Ian?
Asus doesn't like giving out computers.
Oh, okay. I know some people were talking about having their computer provided.
Okay.
Or
Yeah.
Maybe that's what they told us. Maybe we're cool enough to get the computer.
And then I put $500 in miscellaneous fees because these things always have small things that crop up where you're I should spend money on this.
Okay, well, right on. Thank you. Yeah, so this one, definitely, I guess I'm putting a total at the bottom, which I should have done earlier. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Right on. Yeah, so Gamescom Cologne is certainly, we don't know if it's the largest one in the world, but it certainly is one of the largest in the world with that crazy population, which is literally more than the population of Saskatoon comes to this one city.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy. People like their games. Okay. What about Tristan?
So yeah, I did Pocket Gamer Connects. This one is weird. So it's like they do not quite every month, but it's like a world tour where they stop in various countries for like a day or 2 days at most. So it's like in 2026 they did London in January for 2 days. They did San Francisco for a day. They did Sweden for a day or 2 days. Finland for 2 days. Barcelona for 2 days. Bangkok, Jordan, Shanghai. So it's weird that way because it's all over the place, and then it's very much like industry, obviously. It's like 1 day, but it's got so much stuff in it. I guess it's very like limited in terms of attendees. Like the numbers I've seen for historical attendees, it said like 3,000, but this one on their site it's saying like maybe 500. So it's like 10 hours long with 50 plus speakers, and I just don't know how you would fit all that into a day. But I guess you go there knowing exactly who and what you want to do, so you just are pretty focused. In terms of, so it is Pocket Gamer, which is mobile, basically, but it says there is also PC, console, web, virtual reality, and AI, which I don't know what kind of platform that is, but so it's good. There's like a pitch competition. There's the meet to match thing. So yeah, it's weird in terms of registration. So you can get a ticket. Early bird is, I'm assuming this is American dollars. I'm not sure, but like early bird ticket for $100 if you are just a indie developer. If you're a developer publisher, it's $320. If you are a standard professional, it's $500. So this is maybe people not who are developers, but people doing related things. VIP tickets like $1,000, and then there's like tables for $400. And if you're a student, you can get in for $55. So, like maybe not that expensive if you want to get in and have a table. I don't know. Again, if it's 10 hours long and that busy, I can't imagine a table might be the best. But yeah, in terms of cost, like again, I don't go into these things aren't solo indie devs paying out of pocket. It feels like this is like you worked for Xolo and they send you and you go begrudgingly to Shanghai or whatever, right? How dare they? So, but it is like 1 day, so that's kind of a lot in terms of like just the travel costs. And you're going to be quite tired. So, yeah, I certainly would not go to this, but I guess if you had the opportunity and someone paid you to go, it could be kind of neat.
Yeah, well, you said it's actually in a bunch of countries, so it's possible that like there's one near you, maybe. So that could reduce if you happen to live in one of those countries, it's far cheaper to attend than flying to Shanghai for 1 day. That does feel pretty bad.
Yeah.
So then this is a business to business conference.
Yeah, I think it's just industry people essentially.
Right. Yes. Okay, well that's an interesting one, yeah. Was there one in Toronto one time?
There's XP Game Summit.
Oh, XP Game Summit. Okay, that's different. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well maybe I should have.
I didn't see any.
I'm gonna add XP Game Summit over here. Maybe next time.
They have that in Toronto, and they have one in the Maritimes.
Oh. I'll just put Toronto. Okay, right on. Thank you, Tristan.
Yep.
All right. We have up next Renee with DreamHack.
Yeah, so DreamHack, they have different locations everywhere. I always thought it was just Stockholm, but I guess it's travels around. And so the next one is in Stockholm. They typically goes for 3 days. They typically have 40 to 60,000 attendees. It is like more on the competitive multiplayer esports side of gaming. That's kind of a little bit more what they're known for. But there is things like they have like an artist alley that's kind of showcased on their thing that where like it's like a little bit more of your traditional gaming convention, and there is like areas for indie developers.
Okay. Okay.
There's a large number of attendees, and there does seem to be like business to business opportunities. Cons is that it is very esports focused. So if you're not in that kind of realm, it feels like you would get less. You'd be less aligned with the people that are going there.
That's interesting. So this one has more of a skew. If you want to show a game there, you say competitive multiplayer. That's the one. Don't show your game there if it's not competitive multiplayer. That's interesting.
It seems like that. It could be. I think it would just be less efficient. Yeah.
Sure. And what about costs? Is this if you're going to go to the Stockholm one, your costs?
This is for Stockholm if you're going to the next one, and this is for like 4 nights, just like an extra day, and not having much time for downtime.
Yeah.
But it was hard to find a booth cost.
It always
I
is.
did see like things where like for a main area booth, like the big companies are paying a lot, and it's kind of prohibitively expensive. The artist alley is like a few $100s, but that doesn't really. I don't know if game developers can go into the artist alley. But it did seem like for indie game developers, that that $1,500 would be. It seemed like that was what people were saying.
Sure. Okay. Well, thank you. Interesting. Yeah, I went to the Dallas, Texas one, not the Stockholm one. But thank you. Right on. Okay, Eric with Montreal International Game Summit.
Okay, so it's in Montreal. It's 2 days, November 10th to 11th. I couldn't get the exact number of attendees, but apparently it's the biggest B2B video game conference in Canada, and it has something like 750 participants. And just in terms of location, I think it would be kind of like Montreal's already a hot spot for the games industry, but it's it's a stone's throw away from, America's East Coast and, Toronto and all of that. So I feel like a lot of people show up to this one. But yeah, I couldn't get an exact number of attendees. It seems to be more catered for like bigger games. The game that won the Game of the Year award last year was South at Midnight, which is an Xbox Game Studios game. And it's like a third-person action game, of course. Um, but it seems like they are kind of like sprinkling in or doing more indie stuff lately. I was looking at booth costs, and apparently an indie pod is like $350,
Oh.
which isn't much. That's pretty cheap. It's like a 10x10 booth though, so it's pretty small. But that's just what it said on the website. I don't know if that's like the actual price. They didn't say anything else about other costs or what the cost of other booths would be. So like bigger ones are probably much more expensive, and it's not public at all. I couldn't find anything about that. Yeah, so tickets range from like 180 to 1,000 depending on your tier. So if you're like just like basic low tier is 180, which isn't terrible, but 1,000 for a ticket it was like the VIP pass, or like I think 750 for like a business one. And it's like that's quite expensive. Flights aren't so bad. It's like apparently $700 round trip. It's not terrible. Your hotels though, for 2 days it'll be $700 roughly. So anywhere from $250 to $350 a night, which is pretty expensive. So and then what else are we looking at here? Yeah, business cards, of course, banner, $300, and then obviously laptops and TVs and controllers and all that. So the total is quite. I didn't get the whole total for you, sorry, Michael, but yeah, this one seems like it could actually be kind of worth it. Because if you get an indie pod that's only $350, that's not terrible. I think hotels are really the most the biggest con to this one. But apparently it's the biggest one in Canada, which makes sense. In Montreal, that would check out. So yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you. Yeah, that indie pod is interesting. That's a very low price. I'd be interested in seeing a picture of that.
Yeah, me too.
Right on. And interesting how expensive the city is, but how cheap the booth is. Different juxtaposition.
I would say, Eric, you don't need a booth. A lot of people go to just bring their laptop around publishers and just show them their games. Like they'll just walk around with their
They
laptop.
do what? Sorry, you're cutting out a little bit.
Oh, sorry.
Oh.
Can you repeat it?
But yeah, you don't have to actually get a booth. A lot of people just walk around with their laptops to show publishers their game.
Oh, like strapped to their front.
Well, and they schedule meetings, right? So you just schedule a meeting, you show up with your laptop, you let them play your game for like 30 minutes.
Sure.
Yeah.
So you don't actually need a booth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay, well, thank you.
Cool.
Right on. Okay, up next. We have Midwest Gaming Classic by a stranger. Who wrote this one?
That'd be me.
Okay.
Yeah, my name, I guess, is gone up there. Okay. It's in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and it's in the springtime, April 23rd to 25th, so 3 days. And there's 40,000 people in 2025, but that was a high point for them. They've been closer to 30,000 previously. Their games are not video games. They're like, you're invited. There's arcade
You're
games.
allowed.
But they have everything. Tabletop RPGs, puzzle, escape room, chess, pinball, speed, Rubik's Cube competitions, LARPing, and Pogs. They have those.
Pogs.
Pogs from the 90s.
Poggers.
So there's, I don't know, like 40,000 I thought was pretty big, but then the numbers on some of the other conventions are huge. But it's a lot of people, I think. Anyway, 13,333 per day. But it's not video game focused, and that'd be the big con. Is like a lot of people are going to come there. If somebody's dressing up to LARP, I just can't see them spending the time doing a whole lot of other things. Same if somebody's in some of the other competitions, they're probably focused on that.
Sure.
Costs. Convention pass was between 40 and 7, depending on like you can get extras. You get swag with the price of your tickets, whatever swag it is. Flight was about 1,500 with all the fees and stuff. Hotel 261 gets you a hotel that's right at the convention. Because that's another thought, is like there might be a cheap place, but if it's across town, it's not as good. I think $80 for 3 days, or sorry, $80 per day, so $240 for 3 days. That seems about right. And then their booth, it's $250 to $700, depending on if you're in one of the back corners somewhere, or if you're right in the main aisle, up front with a big corner booth. Then you pay the most. You pay $700 for that. Banner's about $200 to $300, and you can there's a place that'll rent out a TV for $550 a day if it's a 50-inch rental, but
Ouch.
yeah, that's a lot. So I look at Best Buy, and you can get one.
You just buy a TV and leave it, and then sell it.
a little under $1,000. Yeah.
Or return it.
How would you return it? That's
Extended
amazing.
warranty.
There we go. Life hack. They don't want you to know. No, we're legit.
I was thinking like raffle that off if people are. I mean, that'd be a pretty
Yeah,
good prize
yeah.
if people are playing a game.
Yeah, no kidding.
But return it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Imagine taking a giant TV on a bus.
it's about $4,000 though with all the costs. So
Okay, right on. Well, interesting. The booth cost is quite low overall. But as you say, this is not a particularly video game focused convention. Would you attend this?
I think popcorn would probably be better.
PopCon. That
Yeah.
PopCon Saskatoon is where it's at, I guess.
I'm thinking because that wasn't primarily video game focused, but there's a lot of vendors there who were selling stuff. So for things to do, the video game area was one of the main things to do. With this one, the Midwest Gaming, you're in competition with everybody for something. So I think it'd be not a whole lot of attention.
Okay. Oh, thank you. All right. We have Oliver for Summer Games Fest.
So yeah, this one's in Los Angeles, USA, but most of it is just online. Like they have 9 days of different showcases that they all post online, and the only physical event is like the main showcase, which is like you're not really any booths, just like Jeff is on stage and presenting trailers, kind of the Game Awards, and then there's also 3 days of private venues afterwards that you can attend to and pay for. Like you pay to have a private venue there, or to just to attend. But like for views, it had up to like 50 million viewers last year. But physical attendance is like limited to like either industry professionals, influencers, and some members of the public, but very few.
If you're rich, yeah.
Yeah, and during the other days, that aren't the physical events, up to 80 games can be shown, like are like shown through the showcases, which is like kind of a lot they cram into like up to like 2 hours. And most of the things that are shown there are things with mostly people with like higher budgets, especially for like the main showcase, and a lot of like something flashy to catch people's eyes, because there's not really much. You just have to catch them using just your trailer rather than anything. So it's hard. It's gotta be flashy to kind of catch people's attention. There's a lot of different like focuses on like the different days, like some of like indie devs, some of like LGBTQ creators, Black creators, certain like countries, women creators. It's very but like it is very famous and has a large influence. And you can definitely, if you pay for like the business the biz dev pass, you can meet with other devs and professionals. Also, if Jeff Keighley likes your game, he will give you a free spot in the main showcase. But hopefully not cost high guard. But yeah, for like the cons, like the main cost, like to pay for a trailer for a live stream, the minimum cost is $250,000 for a minute, and an additional $100,000 per any additional 30 seconds.
That'll just fund your indie game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when are you gonna have one on there?
Only if Jeff likes it.
Yeah, you have to pray Jeff likes you.
Yeah.
And it's all like online, and like it's in the US, which is gross, and it's also specifically in Los Angeles, which is also gross.
Oh.
So it's mostly for devs with a lot of money.
Barf.
But yeah, the costs kind of add up, because like just to like show up, just like the main event is like $60, but then the resale prices for them go up to like 30 USD. Sorry, 300 USD. And then the biz dev partner badge is like $500 to like attend the 3 days of venues. Flight is like decent price because it's a very high traffic area, and then hotel is mediocre because there's a lot of cheap places with people trying like Airbnbs and stuff. Food is like, of course, can be pricey because it's US dollars. But then with the booth is like the main things like, yeah, you can like either, because there is the Day of the Devs, which is like a specific one where you can submit a game, and then if they like you, they'll give you a spot in it, but they're always for free. But other than that, you have to the price for places that aren't the main showcase, I could not find anywhere. But for like the private physical spaces for every day afterwards that you can rent is $20,000 a day, or $50,000 for all 3 days for private booth, which is a lot. And I don't think that even includes like the partner badge, which is another $500 on top of that. And then business cards and banners, I just priced from Staples. But for the physical, if you do get the private physical space for $20,000, it does include like laptop, TV, and stuff, which you'd hope for that much money. But for those private, like the private venues, it's also not many public people. It's pretty much all just publishers and other developers looking your game. So you're not going to like paying for that. I don't know how much extra cost you're going to be able to recoup unless you find some publisher to like.
But you only want to talk to those rich people. Those are the people you want to talk to. Anyway, interesting. Thank you. Okay, so this one's the most different, as you say. It's mostly online. So this one's very different than all the others we saw. So this one's very interesting, but probably out of our reach unless you beg the host, be like, hey, I'm a nobody. I'm an indie from Saskatchewan. Please show my trailer for free. Please? And yeah. You could try. Doesn't hurt. Send an email. Okay, right on. Okay, and yeah, that looks like it. All right, so thank you. There you go. You've now planned a trip to these conventions, and now let's talk a little bit more about conventions. Okay. Okay. So, I guess, you know what? Maybe I'm going to bring that back very briefly. I'm bringing it back. So, I guess, what have we noticed about the costs here? I guess, this cost here, we didn't always auto-populate it, but like here, so PAX West, so $3,000 to go to Seattle in the US. $6,000 maybe to go to Tokyo. $1,500 to go to $1,600 to go to Edmonton. $7,000 to go to Germany. This one didn't auto-populate, so something like $5,000, $1,500 to go to Toronto. DreamHack is $4,000 in the US, or no, that's Stockholm. And then Montreal, something like $1,500, $2,000, $2,500. Russell's $4,000 in the States. Oliver's Summer Game Fest is ridiculous, zero to some ridiculous sum. Yeah. So the prices vary widely, but basically, if you're leaving the country, it's going to be over $2,000, and most likely, if you're leaving the country, it's probably like $4,000. That seems to be what we're seeing here. Of course, these are very rough ballparks, but yeah, it costs money. So, but if you're staying within the country, it should be less than $2,000 within Canada, and then $4,000 if you're leaving the country. That seems to be roughly what it is. Okay, and yeah, those seem like very reasonable numbers. Those seem realistic to me. They line up with what I've seen. So good work. Did any of these surprise you? Did anything here surprise you? Numbers or just what they're for? So most of these were just generalized public conventions, public facing, and then there was a few that were business to business. And then some that were just like gaming, not even video gaming. Yeah, not always appropriate.
It's surprising how many are within like the same dollar range. Yet, like the difference between the largest one that's really just a massive PR event than an actual convention. And also it shows how cheap associations like SaskInteractive can make events like this.
Sure, yeah.
Because otherwise Edmonton should have costed about what Toronto did. Maybe less because hotels, whatnot, but like, yeah.
Sure, yeah. The booth, having the free booth is a big deal. That's a big deal. Anywhere from $500 to $2,000, something like that. or free if you're walking around with your laptop.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
All right. So very good. Very good. Okay. Okay. Oh, that is not the right button.
Hit F12.
Okay, enough. Go away. Okay. Right on. So, basically, that exercise showed you that, if you never really thought, if you, like, here we got some cold, hard numbers here. Reality's staring you in the face. You can't just, like, go with, like, I've got $200. I'll just go to the convention and see how it goes. Well, if you want to actually showcase your game, it's going to cost significant amounts of money. Probably $1,000, $2,000 in Canada, $4,000 or more outside of the country. So it's expensive. But what were ways to make it cheaper? Like we saw some were cheaper, and we've already kind of briefly touched on that. How can you make it cheaper?
Free booth.
Free booth. Yeah, that's right. So just don't pay for the booth. That's great. That's really good. How do you get a free booth?
Like you can either work with someone like Kayak or SaskInteractive who may provide a free booth. So like Kayak's doing free booths for Gamescom, and SaskInteractive does like GCC, and then or like you said, wait till last minute.
Yep.
Sometimes they'll just give them to you.
Yep. You could just say, hey, I'm an indie dev. Please give me something for low price. And if they say no, oh well, so be it.
Yeah.
Yep. Free booth. Yeah. Absolutely. What else?
Apply for funding.
Sure. So yeah, grants. So Creative Saskatchewan actually has like a market travel grant, and they'll pay for half your trip up to some $5,000 or some amount. So the government could just pay for half your trip. Good deal. All of a sudden, that $2,000 cost is now $1,000, or that's much more reasonable. Yep. What else?
You could not go.
Don't go. Sure. I won't write that down. Yeah, that's it. That's easy. Stay home is the easiest. But similar, you could go to nearby ones. So we saw that of like, you know what? Edmonton isn't that far. You could drive, and I haven't done the calculation for gas costs, but you could probably do it for a little bit less than flying, some amount less. So to save on travel.
Especially go with multiple people.
If you go with no people, that's
Carpool.
right. So yeah, split with others. Sure. Now that doesn't really work. Flights, are per seat. But if you go drive in a car, then you all just sit in the same car, and all of a sudden it's half as expensive to go to Edmonton.
Yeah.
That's right.
And people can do that with hotel rooms too.
Sure. So yeah, I guess split with others. I guess yeah. Okay, we'll just say hotel, driving. Yep, definitely. Yep. So you could go bunk with other people.
You can see instead of going for the standard accommodations like hotels, you can maybe seek out if there's an Airbnb that's cheaper or
Yep.
something.
Or a hostel.
Or a hostel.
Yep, you can do hostels. Yep, for sure. Yep, hostel. Yep. Or what's the cheapest way to sleep in a city?
Couch surf.
Car.
Couch surf.
Under a bridge.
Couch surf. Yeah, I guess sleep in your car. Sure. I guess sleep in car or at friends. Right, like if you just know somebody in the city, like a relative or a friend, you just sleep on their couch. That's the cheapest. Okay. Yeah, that's mostly it. Yep. So yeah, there's also convention-specific programs. I guess maybe I don't know if you saw that in your research, but sometimes the conventions will just give away free booths to indies and other people. So when GameCon Canada first started that first year, they did send me an email begging me to come and say, we'll give you a free booth, just come. And I was like, no. But you can get free booths. Just go for it, apply to their programs. GDC has some things where students it's free, or if you volunteer to work at GDC, they'll pay for your pass, but that's still work.
Yeah, I remember at GDC there's that you make a quirky, weird input controller method.
Yes.
And you have to show it off at a
Control
booth,
GDC.
but
I'll show you
yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. But yeah, government grants are really good. They'll just pay for half your trip. That's very good. But you do need to apply for that plenty ahead of time, months ahead of time. So it's not something you can do last minute. And yeah, staying with friends. But of course, Ian, the cheapest way is to just stay home and not go. That is the easiest way. Yeah.
Well, it's the decision of like, is it
Is
really
it worth it?
for me to
Yes.
go? Should I just work on my game more? Should I put the money
Yes.
towards like marketing thing or just
Or paying
myself?
paying
Yeah.
yourself. Yep. Yep. Oh, absolutely. Yes. Okay. But yeah, there are convention specific programs. Free booths apply to indies, and I'll talk about them. Just ask them. It doesn't hurt to say just email them, even if they don't have a program. Just email them. Say, hey, I'm a starving artist. I'm a poor indie from middle of nowhere, Saskatchewan. You don't even know where that is. Please give me a free. Could I have a free booth? And maybe they'll respond, and maybe they won't. But sending the email took all of like a few minutes, and it could save you $1,000. It's worth a few minutes. Okay. But yeah, Creative Sask grants. So they have the Market Travel Grant. They can pay half your budget up to $5,000. When I did it, when I got it, they did ask you to show your invitation. Now, I don't know if that's strictly necessary, but certainly your application is stronger if you've been invited. So what does that mean for me? What it meant for, like, when I went to PAX West to Seattle, I applied to their indie expo. I can't remember the name. There's like an indie booth part, and that's what you see in the background right there. I applied to that section, and they gave me a free booth. So that's my invitation. So I applied, they gave me a free booth, and then you go to Creative Saskatchewan and say, hey, look, they invited me. Well, invited, right? Like, they want me there. And so that makes your application much stronger if they want you there. Okay? Yeah. So we can briefly take a look. I wonder if that URL still works right today. Oh. I talk about it and then they're closing
Yeah,
it.
they have their show and tell travel grant, which that is only for B2B for game developers.
Yeah, showcase and sell travel.
Oh, okay.
That's only B2B. That's not B2C at all.
Okay.
For game developers specifically, other
It's under
industries,
marketing and showcase.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. So
The
showcase or
marketing one-
travel?
Yeah.
The marketing one, I think you can use for B2C as a game developer. I think.
This one here?
So the showcase or sell travel grant, that is only for like if it's industry only. There can't be any like consumer facing side of it.
Oh, okay.
And then the marketing one, I think you can use to go to a consumer facing show.
Oh, okay. So they've split it up. I guess you have to go look at these details.
Yeah.
I assume the deal is roughly the same though, that they'll pay for half your trip essentially.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, micro stream. So here's some deadlines. Okay. Oh, 4 weeks. Okay, from deadline date. Okay, so they've changed it. Yeah, it's always changing. Okay. But yeah, they'll pay for some of your trip. Okay, so now we've talked about, the costs and way to make it cost less money. You've done some research on the numbers and, why you would go to a convention. So we're going to, again, look at the question, is it worth it to go? Like, it's a big question. It's a big commitment. So let's take a look at what I did, okay? Let's look at Michael's travels and see what I did and what I think about. Because I've done this stuff. I've done this, a number of these. So we'll see what I think, okay? Michael's opinion, all right? So I went to DreamHack, and this was in Dallas, Texas. Everything's bigger in Texas. This one, yes, it was an esports focus. They did have a few small indie game booths. When I went, there was 44,000 attendees, and I guess I should put the date, but this would have been 4 or 5 years ago. They had esports, they had Magic the Gathering. A booth there costed about $1,000 for a 10 by 10. But then if you wanted more stuff, you had to pay for it, because of course you do. Power costs money. Ouch. You kind of have to have power, so really the booth cost is just that much higher. You can't not have power. Unless you brought your own generator, I guess, or battery. That's very strange. And then internet, very expensive, okay? But my booth was free. And that's because, I applied to this indie showcase, the DreamHack Indie Showcase, and they said, sure, Kaiju Wars looks good enough. We'll give you a free space.
Did they also include Power Nation?
Yeah, they gave me power. I did not. I wouldn't have gone if I had to pay $300 for power. No way. So I went. Okay, and so there you go. It's during COVID that time. So there's my booth. I have to say, this booth. Well, what do you think?
It looks like our booth's at PopCon.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say that.
Yes. No. I mean, it wasn't. I flew by my partner was there too, but I flew and I had to take what I could, and the booth doesn't look all that impressive. I just had a bunch of posters and laid them on the table. They didn't do anything. They just gave you a table and a power bar and a chair, I guess. That's all they provided, and I had to bring my own little stand of whatever could fit in an airplane and whatever I felt like printing myself, my banner. So that's a banner that is upright like that, and I brought my laptop. Yep. They did have a large old showcase area where they had some old arcade cabinets. They were definitely focused a lot on the esports gaming scenes. And then here, nothing to do with the convention, but I just thought the highways of Texas are just absolutely bonkers. Of literally there's 4 or 5 levels of highways crisscrossing, and it looked like an octopus having sex. It's crazy. Everything's bigger in Texas, so that's just bananas. But I'd have to say that overall, it certainly wasn't an indie game focus, and I didn't get a lot of value out of it, but it was free. Aside from I still had to travel there and spend my time doing it, but the booth at least was free, and I certainly did enjoy my time in Texas quite a bit. Texas barbecue is very tasty, and seeing the cities there is cool. So it's nice. Okay. So, I would not have been very happy paying for that booth with what I got from that one. Yeah.
How much should it cost you total?
Sure. Yeah. Well, flights. I mean, I don't recall too much, but probably something like $1,500, something like that. And then hotel, something like $150 a night or something like that. But I did make a vacation out of it. So this was for 3 days, but I spent an extra 10 days in Texas just touring around. So I spent a considerable amount just sightseeing. Most of the time I was sightseeing. Yeah. But not super cheap. But the government did pay for half my flight and half the hotel days of the convention. I stayed extra time, and the government doesn't have to pay for that. But paying for half my flight for a vacation is nice. That's not bad. If you want to visit Texas anyway. Okay. Yeah. I also went to PAX West Seattle in Seattle, Washington. So this one is primarily, as we saw, a video games convention, but they also have board games and Magic the Gathering. When I was there, I was told 120,000 attendees. So respectable. It's 3 or 4 days. They also had some esports. This one, the booth was more expensive, $2,000 for a 3x3 meter booth, and that's US dollars. So this is a pricier one in the US. But guess what? Again, mine was free. That's right. I applied to the Indie Mega booth, and they said Kaiju Wars looked good enough, and it was free. Okay, and that's what you see in the background here. Okay. But yeah, PAX West was pretty large. So here it is. So that's what my booth with a bunch of people around here. And so here in this indie area, it was really nice. They actually had 10 or 12 of these booths, and they were double-sided. So on the other side, there was a different people there, a different game there. But yeah, they had 12 or 14 games there. And yeah, they did a very nice job. They they printed off a nice backboard for you. And the setup was quite nice, very nice, very professional, very nice. They did that for free. Sponsored by McDonald's. I bring that up because on the last day of the convention, they come by with a check and say, "Here's a $500 US check from McDonald's. Thanks for being in our space." And I was like, "What? Excuse me?" Yeah, they paid me to be there. McDonald's paid me to be there.
McDonald's money or real money? You could spend it other.
It was
other
real
places.
money. It's not just the Monopoly money. Yeah, so McDonald's.
Grease on your hands.
I didn't know they were going to do that. I had no idea.
That's not one of the things we've talked about, getting a corporate sponsor.
That's right. They pay you to be there. That's even better than the free booth, is they pay you to be there. Wow. Okay, not bad. I got paid to be there. So yeah. So there you go. That's my booth. That's a nice picture of it. Down the way you could see that's Larian. They were showing Baldur's Gate 3 right down the hallway. So there we go. In the same picture. There we go. Yeah. So yeah, there were some really cool games there, and like it was cool to chat with the other people as part of the indie booth, and made a few friends there. And yeah, it was kind of cool to see other games coming out roughly at the same time. Yeah. Yeah, Seattle's nice. So yeah, I also used it as like a chance to sightsee. My brother lives in Seattle, so I stayed at my brother's place. So that was cheaper, and also partly the reason why I bothered to go, because I knew this existed. I'm like, oh, my brother also lives there, so let's do it. Let's make a trip and go down and do that, and then get paid by McDonald's. So that was good. Certainly a much bigger crowd. So certainly this was a much better value than the DreamHack one. Not very good value in Texas. This one, there's lots of people. Better value certainly, especially if they pay you. Okay. So here's some other ones. Let's see. So here's some other games. It's some big ones. The new Saints Row. Other games. Here's Baldur's Gate 3, Larian. There's a big lineup here. You'll notice everyone was wearing masks. Everyone had to wear a mask at that time, though we still had these giant conventions with full people. Interesting. But then they had Tiny Build had a giant carnival there. They actually had carpet down, had carnival set pieces and lights and stuff. Right across the way, there was this big spider, Kill It With Fire, ramen. There was one game right across the way, Shapes and Beats, and they were like a music kind of rhythm game. Owen's played it, I played it with Owen. It was so loud across the way, and we were getting kind of tired of them. Like, oh, these guys are jerks, they're being so loud. We can't even hear Kaiju Wars. But then later on, they came up. It's like, oh, sorry for being so loud, and they gave me like a free game key. So I was like, okay, we'll accept it. We'll accept it. Yeah. But it's very tiring. I think it was actually for 4 days. Yeah, after 4 days, it's very, very tiring to be there the whole time. And certainly the last day, not as many people. If in any convention, the last day will always have half the number of people there. So in actuality, sometimes you don't even need to stay. Like if a convention's 4 days, you could probably just not even attend the fourth day.
Are you obligated to attend your booth for every day and the full period?
That's a good question. You should ask them.
Were you?
Was I?
Did you just leave?
I wanted my McDonald's money. But yeah, you could ask them. I mean, you paid for it, so I mean they can't force you to show up. Probably.
I know GCC they included in your contract that your booth has to be staffed. To show.
Well, that's not as fun.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you could pay one of your nearby booth buddies to put a sign saying "out to lunch" or something. Yeah. Yeah. So they had lots of stuff. So they had a whole tournaments of Magic the Gathering, some sweaty Magic the Gathering tournaments, board games. Devolver Digital actually had a movie, like a cinema built inside the convention center a little bit. They had a big esports stage as well. Yeah, so that's PAX West in Seattle. We also had Gamescom Cologne, Germany. So this one was big, and it's this one's video games. And also there's also board games. Magic the Gathering is always present. This one is a big one for when I was there. 320,000 attendees, as we saw. It's huge. A lot of people attended. Quite a few days. Also esports. My research there said that a booth was 2,700 Canadian. So also on the pricier side, but actually about the same as PAX West there, but 3 times the attendees. So this one's huge, Cologne, Germany. Now, I did not get a booth here. I did not. I was just kind of more. I came here because I happened to be in the neighborhood more I happened to be on a trip to Europe to visit a friend who lived there. And literally this was happening during my trip. And I was like, oh, I'm in Belgium. Germany's very short distance away. So I went. And so I did talk to, I still made a business trip about it. I talked to a bunch of publishers while here. I made a bunch of business meetings, but I did not have a booth. I didn't bother this time. Didn't have my stuff with me. Okay. But yeah, a very big space. So very crowded. Let's see. Yeah, so they had some very crowded indie areas. You can see here that literally they had some kind of single game booths. And for those, it was literally one screen per game. They didn't have 2 computers per booth for those. Those were some very narrow indie ones. They had booth areas. Some of them were sorted by country of oh, here's a bunch of games from the Philippines or games from Latin America. And they would group, countries would group them up. Presumably they got deals or got it for free if they grouped up with their country. I know that Canada did have an area. I went and talked to some of the Canadian trade delegation people. They were there. Yep. They had some cool stuff. Eric will like to see. They had some big Gundam statues that are like person size. Very cool. This game right here was very interesting. Just I thought it was worth noting. It had 9 TV screens, and you're supposed to like get some little fluffy guys were coming down, and you had to get them to the bottom safely, and you had to physically press the buttons and rewire parts, and they'd flow from screen to screen, and you try to get them there safely to the bottom. So it's really cool, the physicality of 9 different screens and actually rewiring things and to try to get them there. Very cool. This is grasshopper eggs larva, I believe. And for some reason, Germany was doing, I guess they thought nerds don't know how to cook. So they were doing some like cooking programs at the convention. And as part of that, they're like, yeah, eat some bugs. It's free. Bugs are protein. There we go. I tried it. Yeah. Crunchy. All right. Yep. All right. So yeah. So I use that as a business meeting. I didn't actually have a booth. This area, this convention center is huge. 320,000 people. This is like basically one convention center in Seattle. This is like they actually had like 8 or 9 of them next to each other, and there's these huge halls, absolutely massive. To get security to go into this place, the lineup was like over an hour long just to get in, and they had multiple gates. So basically, once you get in for the day, you don't leave because it took far too long to get your bags scanned and checked again. So you got to eat inside, and the food inside, well, they're bugs. They're bugs. It's bad, and it's very expensive. Currywurst, yeah.
At events like this, because this is in Germany, do you have to know any German when you actually go, or are you
Not
fine?
at all. No.
Okay.
And the funny thing is, yeah, despite being in Germany, any person you talk to in English, they'd respond in English. Everyone here was speaking English. You
90%
didn't.
of the population in Germany knows English.
They know English. Yeah, basically anyone like younger than like 50 years old in Germany knows English quite well. And yeah, it was shocking that like even though it was far bigger, it almost felt the exact same as in PAX West in Seattle. Of like I see some of the same games. In fact, I even recognized a few faces of like I saw the same person there. It felt like the exact same thing. It's just in a different country, but exact same people, same booths, all speaking English. Once you've been at one kind of big show, they actually all kind of look the same, these public-facing ones. They did have cordon-off areas, like there were several public-facing halls, and quite a few, but then there were also business-to-business halls where they check your pass and say, oh, only professionals come through here to go do meetings and stuff. So they had different areas for different things. But yeah, it felt very much like the other ones, and they all kind of look the same after a while. Yeah. Okay, so Game Developer Conference in San Francisco. So this is for game developers. And so this is a professional business to business. So it does have a public hall, but it's certainly not the point. It's smaller. And this is for meeting publishers, developers, networking, get jobs. They had some mixers. They had like what was called like speed networking. It's kind of like speed dating, where you'd sit down at a table across from a person and you have 5 minutes to talk to each other. And then like a loud buzzer would go, and then one side of the table would slide down to the next person. Be like, hi, I'm Michael. I'm a programmer. I run a company. I make indie video games. They're like, and they'd say, cool, I like to make music. Please hire me. That's how it went. There's a lot of music people there. So they did mixers like that. There's also a lot of parties. That I guess like GDC is known for these like after event parties. And like there's a whole schedule online, and you have to look up ahead of time saying like, oh, you know, these parties are happening on this night and these parties are happening on this night. And you want to go. I hear a lot of business deals are conducted at bars after the event. So it's actually important that you go schmooze and network with people. Now, being awkward, it's harder. It's not as fun. But I guess if you like that could be good. A lot of it, there were a lot of talks. So like as Owen said, there's actually like 5 or 6 talks going on simultaneously, maybe even more. And you have to choose which talks you want to go to. There's a whole bunch of layers of passes. For me, the all access pass at the time was $2,300 US, that's just a pass. It's not a booth. That's just, if you want to attend all the talks or have access to all the talks, that's how much you pay. So they definitely are like, this is aimed at people who work at big companies like Microsoft or Ubisoft. And they just every year send 10 or 20 people to go to these conventions to network and listen to talks. This is definitely you get your boss to pay for you to go. Like you really don't go by yourself, and you don't pay that much to attend by yourself. Like you got to go find some other deal, get the government to pay for half your ticket. You don't pay that by yourself. And also, I mean, the All Access Pass, there's so many talks, you can't attend all of them all at once, so you have to pick and choose. So I don't even think you need the All Access. Like, there's plenty of talks going on if that's what you want. For this one, I think I actually met like something like 30 publishers, which is quite a few. I only had time to attend like one talk. So really, that pass was actually a waste of money. Like, I actually spent the majority of my time here at GDC was not spent in the convention hall. When you meet with people, it's in hotels around the convention hall. You don't even need a pass. Like, all the publishers will be, meet me in the lobby of the Marriott Hotel next to the convention center. And then now it's terrible to find people because literally there's, well, it says 20,000 attendees. You go into the hotel lobby and there's literally like hundreds of people in the lobby trying to find who they're trying to meet with. It sucks. So like literally you want to bring like a hat saying like, hey, I'm going to be wearing a red Pokemon hat. Here's a picture of me so you can recognize me in a crowd. And like you wear a name tag that says Michael on it or something. Otherwise you could not find who you're supposed to meet with.
It's like a blind date. You said there's speed dating, sort of.
It basically is. And yeah, it sucks. If they don't post their picture, they have to find you. And you're just kind of like, hello, does anyone want to talk to me? Where's my person? Yeah. Yeah, so that's weird. So like you don't even need to pay for a pass to get, if you're only meeting with publishers, 90% of them were in hotels around the convention center, not even inside because they don't want to bother. Most of them just happen in lobbies. Like you'll go sit in the lobby or like they'll have like a coffee area and you'll sit down. I've heard talk. Actually, I think one time I did meet a publisher in their hotel room, and that was weird. But most of them didn't do that. I was like a little bit uncomfortable. I was like, okay, 4th floor, 405. Hello, knock, knock, knock. Oh, there you are. Yeah. Okay. Yep. Yeah. Okay. Yes. There are like scholarships and like some streams. If you're willing to volunteer, they of course have the thing where like if you volunteer, we won't pay you, but you'll get like a free pass when you're not busy volunteering and working.
Also, if you do that, make sure you do that before you buy your ticket, because I actually won an Expo Pass after I'd bought the All Access Pass.
Ooh.
And I could do nothing with it.
You didn't try to sell it?
No, it's tied to my name.
Ah,
Yeah,
no. You need to find another Owen.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's very interesting. When I went there, the talks at the time, unfortunately, like 30% of the talks were all crypto. No doubt, if you'd went like 1 or 2 years ago, it would be half of them would have been AI.
Yeah, and when I went, a third of the expo, everything, it was VR. So
VR.
it's very trendy.
It's very trendy of like
Yeah.
if you're trying to look for publishers and like business people, they're all looking for the latest thing, and no doubt AI would still be what they're talking about. A lot of it. There's still plenty of other talks, but AI would be a very huge subject there. Definitely. Okay. So busy. Here's just one of the convention halls. Very busy. So here they actually had a lot more businesses. So like you walk through this hall, but these are businesses trying to sell to game developers, not game developers trying to sell to the public. So here, Laguna College of something art degree or game art or something. So literally there's a bunch of schools. In fact, Ray's Recording Arts in Saskatoon, they would attend trade shows like these, though not as busy as this one and not as targeted. But like a bunch of schools go there, and like companies looking for people to hire would go there. Or if you want a job, you'll go there and try to sell yourself, get a job at these places. So yeah, it's very much aimed at selling to game developers, not the public.
Is that a toaster as a controller?
Yeah. So in the bottom right here, this is called Alt Control GDC, and this is a cool area. It's my favorite area of the whole conference, where people submit, generally students, younger people, submit games with weird control inputs. One of them which was a toaster. So you'd literally press the toaster and it would control the piece of bread or the toast in game. Over here in the bottom left, we have Unicycle Samurai. They made some like wooden unicycles, and you actually like pedaled the unicycle to go. Very cool. top left, we have, you'd actually take, there's like a log and like a little axe, and you actually like hit the axe against the log to chop the wood. This one's here on the top right, pretty cool. This is a spaceship one. It's 2-player. One person actually flew the spaceship, and the other person was like the engineer. And what he did is like, there's 2 different types of ammo for your guns. You had to actually physically slot in which type of gun ammo you're using, blue or red. And then when your ship got damaged, you'd have to take the hammer and ting, 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 press on the metal fast to repair your ship. Really cool. Cloth car challenge in the bottom left. That was interesting. It's just a car driving game, but you controlled it by like pressing your finger down on this piece of cloth, which I guess conducts electricity, and that's cool. This one's my favorite. The shadow puppets. You put your hand in this like puppet kind of strings. Like strings were tied to each finger, and you did this to change a puppet in game, and you had to like match poses of in game with your puppet character. Very cool. So if you have a weird control input game, I encourage you, make a weird control input game, apply, and then they'll give you a free pass. And I guess you can enjoy it when you're not manning your booth, I suppose. But yeah, really cool. And I wonder how well, maybe it's easier to get a job if you have a really cool game, kind of like that. Oh, I wish I'd put a picture. There's also one where like hanging from the ceiling, there's this giant bowler hat. And like it actually could fit 2 people underneath it, and you control the game by like having this giant paper mache hat from the ceiling, and you'd run underneath it to move it. Yeah. Very bizarre, but very cool. So this is the part I enjoyed the most of this one. But yeah, I was just meeting publishers pretty much the whole time at this one. You could get a booth, but yeah, you probably don't. You're just here to meet publishers. Okay, so now we come to the question again. So now that you've heard my tales of what I've attended, I guess 4 different ones, and you yourselves have attended 1 or 2. Is it worth showcasing your indie game at in-person conventions? This is for, you got a game to sell. I'm not talking about like getting a job or something. You got a game to sell or show. Is it worth it? What do we think?
You can budget it correctly. That fits in. I'd say yeah.
Depending on
Especially with the grants.
the convention type.
Depends.
Yeah.
If you have like an actual goal and the convention is conducive to fulfilling that goal.
Okay. Online people, any thoughts? Okay. Well, I'm going to force you. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I was just thinking, I guess it's kind of like all on like the risk versus reward. So the reward of like can be very high. If you sign with a publisher, it could be like, it could be completely everything. So it's like, is it gonna work out or not? I guess you're weighing the likelihood of that.
Sure. If it directly leads to a publisher, absolutely. It sounds like that would be, you'd go, yes, that's good. Yep. But I'm gonna simplify. You know what? Raise your hands if you think yes, you should go to every convention. You should go to these conventions, at least one. You should go them to sell your game. All right. Most of the people the majority of people in the room have their hands raised here. Online people, what do you think? I guess we just heard Renee's opinion. Maybe. What about maybe? Or who are on the fence of like, it really depends. Who knows? That's kind of the cop-out answer, though. What if I want a hard yes or a hard no? What about Eric? What does Eric think online?
Eric had to dip out. He just has his wisdom teeth out, he said. So.
Okay. All right. Well, you know what? I'm not gonna do a wishy-washy. I'm not gonna give you a maybe. I'm gonna come out with a hard no. No, it's not worth doing. Even though having done it 4 times myself, I'm gonna say no, it's not worth it. Okay. So the reason why I don't think it's worth it to sell. So is it worth showcasing your indie game at in-person conventions? I think the answer is no. And there's one and one reason only, and that's numbers. Okay. The numbers, they don't lie. Okay. So let's take a look at so I guess we did mention goals of like get a publisher. That'd be a huge win. So if you could get one, that's huge. Obviously, that's great. Very happy. If you can't get a publisher, let's say, what is your other goal at the convention?
Wish lists, I guess.
It's going to be getting wish lists, people joining your Discord, or people joining your email newsletter. Those are like the three. That's what you're collecting. Okay, so collecting wish lists. We'll just simplify that. That's going to be, so like publishers is number one. If you can get one, great. If that's what you're looking for, great. And you get one, that's awesome. But secondary, that's what you're going for here. You're going to have wish lists, email newsletter sign up, Discord joins. The problem with this is the numbers and the math doesn't check out. Okay, so now let's give you an example. So let's say that I make a demo for my game, and let's say that very generously, I guess I'm very conservatively, let's say that it takes 5 minutes to complete my demo. 5 minutes per demo. Okay? Most people will want to play for more, but we're gonna say I'm gonna be ruthless. I'm kicking you off for 5 minutes. I don't care. Okay? So if we have 5 minutes per demo, we can get 12 demos per hour. Okay, of people playing your game. All right. And then what? Let's say that you get 10 hours per day. Something like that, right? You have 10 hours of the convention. Let's say it's packed. There's no dead time. There's always somebody lining up to play your game. There's always people there, which is a big if. Okay. And let's say that, so something like, I believe that's 120 demos per day. Yeah? Okay. So that's one computer. Okay. Let's say that you do it for 2 days. And I mean, you could do it for 3 days. Let's say for 2 days, so that's 240 demos. Let's be generous, I guess. Let's do 3 days. 3 days at maximum capacity, no breaks. 360 demos over 3 days. Okay. Now, let's also say that maybe you have 2 computers. What if you're lucky? What if you're not like me and you have 2 computers? All right, so let's times 2 computers. 2 computers. 720 demos. Okay. Now, let's say that let's just say that you get some random extra wish lists, even from people who don't play your demo. Maybe they just see it, they see people playing and having fun. They're like, oh, that looks cool. Let's just say that we get times 1.5 for bonus wish lists of just people just see your game. They like what they see. Okay. And also, let's just assume that every single person who plays your demo wish lists your game. And I can assure you, that is not the case whatsoever of only 10% of people who play your demo will wishlist your game. But let's say they all do in this magical land. This is the best convention ever. So something like that. So I guess 350 plus another 360, 1080 wish lists. So I think if my math is correct, that's it looks like to me that for 3 days nonstop with 2 computers, we get 1,000 wish lists. Okay. But how much did it cost me to get here? Let's say $4,000. Let's say that I had to go to, let's say that Calgary or Edmonton, the Edmonton one, it wasn't big enough. Maybe I don't know if I could keep that up for 3 days straight in Edmonton. Don't know. I wasn't there. But maybe I had to go to PAX West to go to these states. So let's say $4,000. So it took me $4,000 to get there. So I guess if I take $4,000, what's my dollar per wish list that it costs me?
4.
So roughly 4. So $4 per wish list. Okay, so roughly that cost me $4 per wish list.
It'd be cheaper to put an online ad a lot less effort, and you could just
You're
hang out
right.
all weekend.
I could serve tens of thousands of ads
Yeah.
for that much money.
And also, it doesn't take you any time or effort out of your schedule.
Yeah, because that $4,000 does not count your time.
Yep. And now this is also the best case. Like, you could not get numbers this good in real life. You know, that's assuming every single person who plays your game then goes, when they get home, they remember, oh, Kaiju Wars was awesome. I'm going to go look it up on Steam. I'm going to log into Steam. I'm going to click wish list. Every single one of those steps, like, people, you lose people. Most people don't even have, like, you know, they won't have the Steam app on their phone. They won't have internet. You know, they can't just wish list it right then and there. They're busy at the convention. They're having fun. So this is the best you could possibly hope for, and it's not going to be this good. You're not going to get this. And that's like the best you could do.
If it's a 10% conversion rate, then that's really $40 a person. So
$40 a wish list for like a realistic. Yeah. So yeah, realistic. So realistically, $40 per wish list. Ouch.
Or would it be $40 per sale that converts from wishlist? Yeah.
Yeah, and so
they better tell their friends.
they better tell their friends. Yeah, so the numbers don't lie. Of like this business wise, this doesn't add up to like this doesn't work business wise of like how much money and effort I put into this for that much return. Now, again, there are like ethereal other bonuses to attending. There's networking, there's publishers, there's making friends, there's learning and education. There are other benefits, but like this is kind of like the main one. If you aren't going to get a publisher, this is like this is like you're showcasing the game because you want to sell it. That's the goal. This doesn't the numbers don't lie, and it spells disaster. So I have a clip to show you. Oh. Here we go. So yeah, the numbers don't lie, and they spell disaster. Like even with this, like, you know, again, best case scenario, it doesn't add up and it's not great. But there are other reasons to go. Okay, but yeah, you can check out the numbers here. So like, there's a whole bunch of risk here why these numbers like won't work. Of like, what if there aren't always people at your booth lined up to play your game? What if it takes longer than 5 minutes to play your game? Oh dear God, your rate's even worse. Maybe you need more computers. But then again, you know, some will look at your booth without playing the demo and stuff. So, the numbers aren't great, and so that's why I don't think.
Michael, I'm not getting audio.
Ooh, numbers don't lie. Okay, sorry about that, Renee. Did you hear the funny video?
Not really. I got it.
No. Oh, that's it. We need to watch it again.
Subtitles.
Okay, sorry about that. All right. That's right. Yeah. So unfortunately, yeah, like those were the best case numbers, and then there's a whole bunch of like risks of like, well, what if your demo takes longer than 5 minutes? What if it's not always crowded, and what if there's not always lineups to play your game? You need multiple computers. What if you need to take go to the bathroom? You're not going to be able to get this like power rate of that. And like, then you're going to have to go talk to people and like engage with them. There's a whole bunch of stuff that makes it hard to keep that up. But yeah, some will also look at your booth without playing the demo, and that's fine. Okay. So yeah, there's somewhere in that rate we saw somewhere between $4 to $40 per wish list is something like that. Okay. So yeah, so generally, the problem is that I guess wish lists specifically are very hard. A Steam wish list is what you're looking for is in the indie selling on Steam. Now there are other things to generate, but if the goal is wish lists, there's a whole bunch of problems to getting them. So like Wi-Fi, many people won't. I mean, nowadays lots of people have data, but I know inside those convention centers, they're literally like steel cages of like concrete, and there's like 100,000 people in there. You don't always get reception. Data just like doesn't always work. I certainly know that whenever you see from the roof, I talked to some people there. Generally, the big booths will actually have Ethernet cables drilled in a hole through the ceiling, and they drop a Ethernet cable down from the ceiling for their booth because like the mobile data is bad in there, and so is the Wi-Fi. But I heard just anecdotally that like one of those Ethernet cables from the roof cost just one cost $20,000, and like the Intel booth had like 10 of them for some reason. I don't know why. But so yeah, like the internet is not always good. Most people won't have the Steam app on their phone anyway. And yeah, so yeah, there's a whole bunch of problems with that. You can collect other things of like, email newsletter. You can do that virtually with a QR code they scan and then they go to the internet. But again, internet's spotty, doesn't always work. And some people don't want to give you their email. Some don't like that. You can also have a piece of paper and hope they write their email, but some people aren't into that. If you're collecting Discord invite, not everyone uses Discord or like, wants to do that. So like there are other things to collect, but generally it's going to be like the least invasive is wish lists. Like people who play Steam are like understand that, oh yeah, I wish list games that are unreleased that I want to play. That's kind of like the thing. Whereas like Discord and email is more personal. They have to be willing to trust you a bit more, I guess, for those things. So for selling your game, showing off your game, I don't think I'm going to answer with just say no. It's not worth it if that's your goal. Okay. But there are other reasons. Again, there are other reasons to do that. There are other reasons to attend. What are those? What are some other reasons? We just mentioned some, but we'll do it again because you learn things by repeating them. Why else would you attend? I guess we'll leave publishers. You trying to get a publisher? Press, sure. Yep, yeah, that's a good one. We haven't talked about that. Yep. So they do have at PAX West. They do have like a journalist and people like they no doubt IGN has sent a person and they're walking around looking at the games. Yep.
Yeah, I think
Maybe they'll do an article on you.
Ian's game was covered by like 2 or 3 different like things.
Oh, nice.
I got 2, and that was nice. And one of them I actually read, like as a site that I go to.
Which one's that one?
Mobile Syrup.
Right on.
So that was pretty
Cool.
nice.
Yeah, you know a guy. Now you have their personal info.
We are LinkedIn.
Wow. Right on. Yeah, so there's press. So that's good. Doesn't hurt. What other reasons are there than just wish lists / email / Discord? Yeah, so we publishers. So I guess networking with other developers.
Business connections too.
So even if you don't get a publishing deal, you never know that who talking to people in person may not this time, but maybe next time or the time after that. Certainly, the publisher that I'm working with, I met multiple times Slitherine at conventions until finally we signed a game. We signed and published. We're publishing a game together. But I'd met them multiple times in person before over the years. So you could say that eventually it led to a publishing deal, but it wasn't just like one convention did it. It was like I saw them 3 times before that. And I pitched other games to them and they said, no, we don't want Kaiju Wars, but Battle Plan, oh, that's World War II. We like that one. Sure. Yeah, so you never know. It also doesn't hurt to talk to other developers. Sometimes you can get into bundles, like Steam bundles with other people. Doesn't hurt. It's a good thing to do. What else? What did we talk about at the beginning? I know it's been a while. Learning?
Like practicing your pitch, learning.
Yeah, practice. Yep. It doesn't hurt. Yep, practice is good. Trying the pitch, getting the trailer, kind of like practice / deadlines. Though I have to say, it's a very expensive way to practice and do deadlines. If you're self-disciplined, you can certainly set your own deadlines. But if you're not self-disciplined, maybe you do need an external deadline.
Give yourself a $4,000 deadline jar instead of a swear jar.
Yeah.
If you don't hit it, you burn it.
That's right.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, practice. It doesn't hurt. I guess I don't know what else you're practicing for if you're attending this expensive convention to practice for other expensive conventions. But no, it's still a good thing to get out there and talk about your game.
Yeah. like talking with people gives you sometimes the words to use when
Yep.
talking about your game, so that you can put.
That's
those
right.
into
It'll
your
help
game.
future pitches and future games. It gives you experience.
Yeah.
Yep. No, it doesn't hurt. Yep. What's something else we said at the beginning? What else? Why else would you go? All right. Feedback. Right? Like you're having people play your game, and maybe you'll listen to their opinions, or maybe they'll say something to you. Maybe. Sure. Okay, well, one of the main ones that let's talk about feedback next. So, feedback. That's a big one, right? 150 people play your game per day. How could that sounds like a good thing, right? Like that's good. How many people play your game right now? I bet it's like close to 0. Okay. So, what do we think about that? Is feedback from conventions good, bad? What do we think? Good.
It can be good, but like 150 plus people, if you get like a piece of feedback, it's probably going to be regurgitated countless times by so many people, and so you probably don't need that big of a sample size to be as effective with feedback.
Sure. Okay. So you think that's more than needed?
Probably.
Okay. Sure.
I'd argue the opposite.
Okay.
You need people to tell you something that many times so that you know that it's important.
Okay.
Like if there's 1,000 people and 700 of them say the same thing.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess quantity. Yeah, we'll say quantity. Yeah.
But it could certainly be repetitive. Like being a cashier and asking, did you find everything you were looking for?
Ouch. Yeah. Yeah. Is the feedback here good? Feedback?
You don't choose the demographic.
Yes, that's right. So, yeah, I guess different demographic, different audience. Right? You don't choose who walks up to your booth. Now, of course, you can make the same argument of I don't choose who comes to my Steam page and looks at it. However, they're not necessarily the same people. Like, do hardcore World War II strategy players go to PAX West to play video games? I'm going to say no, they don't. They're like, those are not the same people who would play my game. So those people don't attend that. So it may not be who you're actually aiming this game at. And you always need to be careful with feedback of, feedback's dangerous. It's not always good. If people who you aren't aimed at give you feedback and you act on it, you make the game worse. So you need to be careful of like, don't get feedback from people who would never buy the game anyway. It's not for them. Don't listen to them. Okay? So dangerous. Yeah. They're spies. They're dangerous. Trying to trick you. Okay, what about what else? How do you get the feedback from these people?
Watch them play.
You watch them play.
Yeah.
Do you have time to watch them play?
Yeah, you're talking to people. They're playing your game in front of you.
Oh, okay. At PAX West, I did not have time to watch anybody play. I am far too busy. Like when there's like 5 to 10 people standing in front of your booth, I'm trying to engage them, work the crowd, talk to the audience. I don't have time to watch the guy play. But if you have a larger team, then there could be someone standing over their shoulder watching. I guess you could, but it's busy and chaotic. And what's the problem? Watching them play, is that valid here? Is that valid in this scenario with these parameters? What's different about it at home?
Is it more relaxed at home?
It's just a completely different environment. The people who are going to play and buy your game, they're not going to buy it and play it at a convention. They're going to go home and play it quietly on their computer by themselves. Whereas here, they're playing it and there's like 4 people watching over their shoulder and they're going to play for 5 minutes and then kicked off. It's an entirely different environment and like gets different experiences. So like if you were conducting a scientific study, I would like throw out all the results from this because it's completely different than what your audience actually does at home. Completely different. So I'm going to say different environment. certainly I know that in busy, chaotic situations like this, players never read. But they especially don't read at conventions. They'll be like, what's going on? I don't know what's going on. It's like, well, there's a prompt that says right there on the screen what you're supposed to do. Now they're busy. There's too much going on. It's overstimulating. They don't have time to read that crap. So different environment. They're not at home. They're not relaxed. They're not doing one-on-one. They're being rushed. They have a million other things to do today. It's very different. And also one game that might do well in these environments are like multiplayer or like party rhythm games. Very different being played at home by yourself. Now, of course, maybe your game is like a multiplayer party game, and maybe that could work, but most of them aren't. Generally, local multiplayer games do really well in conventions and then sell abysmally online because nobody has friends and nobody has controllers. Okay, any other things about the feedback?
People are not necessarily outgoing, and they might play your game and just not want to give feedback.
Sure, yeah, you can try to engage them afterwards, but they're busy, or maybe they didn't like your game. But also, you're standing there right behind them. What are they going to say to your face?
It's great.
They're going to say your game's good. They're going to say they like your game, whether they like it or not. Okay, they're going to lie to you because you're standing right there. Like, that's called bias. You're peer pressuring them. They're not going to insult you to your face. Whereas, if you go post online, there's less bias. In fact, if you're not watching them at all, they have no bias. They don't need to spare your feelings. This is why, like, having internet strangers play your game is always the best validation, because you're not standing there over their shoulder saying, did you like it? Well, did you like it? Wasn't that part so cool? Isn't this great? You're not biasing them. You're not peer pressuring them into saying what you want them to say. So there's definitely bias and peer pressure. Generally, they're also more forgiving in these settings. Like, they're here to have fun. Look at all these people. There's lots of cool excitement and fun. It's very, again, they're probably predisposed to like what they see in these nice, fun environments. But at home, it's very different. When like the rush wears off, they sit down at home like, what is this garbage? Like, it was cool when my friend was sitting next to me, but now like I'm by myself, and what was I thinking? It's very different. Okay. Well, I think that covers most of it. So yeah, it's noisy and chaotic. I find it's very hard to watch people and even do stuff. You're busy doing the crowd. You're handing out new newspaper signups. You're handing out swag. You're talking to people. Oh, a press person came by. Oh, you're gonna have to go walk off for 20 minutes and give an interview. I didn't have time to watch people play almost at all. The game, even and I had someone else to like take turns with. There's the bias. Again, you're standing over their shoulder. You're looking at them. You're nearby. You made the game. It's pretty obvious you made the game, so they're not going to insult you to your face. They're not going to say it's bad. They'll say, oh yeah, it's good. And really the only way you can tell if they liked it is like if they want to stay and play the game longer. That's the only really real way to tell that they like it, is if how long they sit there. But then you have to kick them off though, because you got to get through 5 minutes per person. Kick them off. Get them going. You got to get more people through. So it's bad. it's hard to do that. Yeah, time constraints of, yeah, you need to get people off in 5 minutes. Heaven forbid your demo lasts 15 minutes. How many wish lists would you get there? It'd be like $100 per wish list or something? Yikes. Now, of course, that's also like some people sit down, play your demo, and then just like leave partway through. They don't like what they play. Oh well. Yeah. We already talked about that. Different audience. Not necessarily the same people who find your store page and buy it and play it at home. They're different people. They show up. Sometimes some people will just come and sit down and play just because it's there. Maybe they're bored. Maybe the game they want to play has a big lineup across the way, and they just come to your game because it's available. In that case, that's kind of like worse than not coming, because if they never would have played bought your game anyway, them sitting there and playing the demo takes time away from people who could play the game and like the game. So that's worse than not even attending, like showing up at all. They're taking precious time away from other people who could enjoy your game. That's bad. And yeah, wrong environment. It's just different. It's different than being at home. Different than being at home. And you're not going to make your living off showing this off to 1,000 people, or like more like 400 people. You aren't selling your game to 400 people. You need to sell your game to 20,000 people. Right? If only you could get all of If only you could get all of Gamescom to play your game. Now that would be good. That would be good. All right. But I mean, yeah. So overall, feedback from conventions is low quality. Like, again, for all these reasons, it's not great. It's better than no feedback, but it's low quality feedback. There's a lot of problems with it, and it doesn't really prove that your game is good, because some people always show up to your booth no matter what. The gold standard truly is playing with internet strangers online, like getting them to play the game, and if they like your game, that's the gold standard. Yeah, playtest with internet strangers is both cheaper and higher quality. Stay at home and do some Reddit posts. So that's just for the feedback. But again, some feedback is better than no feedback. But really, do this far before you go to a convention. Like, this is way more important than going to a convention. Like, don't go to a convention unless you've done that. It's not worth your time, not worth your money if you have not passed that step. Okay. What about, so meeting publishers? We already said that, yeah, if you're looking for one and you get one, that's great. But is it worth it just on the off chance that you do? Like, how likely is that actually to happen? Who knows? Nobody can really answer that fully, right? Like, I don't know. Nobody has numbers for that. So that's a maybe. But I do know that you approaching them rarely works in almost any situation. Whether you're cold calling them, sending them email, using their website form, or even just walking up saying, hey, I've got a game. Do you want to listen to my game? Who are you? Go away. You arrange meetings with them at the conventions. It doesn't hurt. But again, cold calling just rarely works. If they're interested, they'll approach you. Now, if you do attend these conventions, you still want to look 1 or 2 months ahead of time and see who's attending. And they use software that's called Meet to Match, where you look at this list and it shows a whole list of all these industry people who are attending. And then you go send them messages saying, hey, I want to schedule a meeting with you at this time. And they can either approve or decline the meeting, kind of like the Calendly one-on-one meetings you have with me. There's a bunch of scheduling you can do. But again, although they'll take meetings with you, it's kind of their job to take meetings. If they're interested in the long term, they will find you. So even if you don't attend these conventions, they have people looking through Steam, looking through itch.io, looking at game dev forums. They have people looking for the genres they like, and if they see something interesting, they will reach out to you without attending a $4,000 convention. They will do that. Okay? So, you never know, but generally they'll approach you if they want your stuff. But you never know. In-person connections can be useful, maybe. Yeah, it can be definitely a long term down the road again. You meet somebody multiple times and then finally you sign a deal or they introduce you to someone else. It's nebulous how effective that can be. Maybe. Who knows?
By the way, while you did your booths at all those conventions, was it ever clear that a publisher even came to your booth? Did any of them say, "Oh, hey, we should meet after," and then you actually met or anything?
No, I think maybe one did, but I always in the month beforehand on this Meet to Match scheduling website, I reached out to 20 or 30 of them, and I scheduled the meetings ahead of time with them. So it was rare that they just walked around and said, "Hey, buddy, that looks cool." That doesn't happen very often, I don't think.
Yeah. At GCC, it happened to me once where a publisher, his kid, played my game and really liked it, so he went and dragged his dad and was like, "You gotta try this game." So that's how I got pitched to Devolver. But
you talked to Devolver, very nice.
Yeah, but they were publishing a very similar game to mine, so they said no. But the only reason I even got in that room was because of the guy's son.
That's good. Yeah, you never know. You never know. There's the chaos factor.
You use their family.
Yeah. Indoctrinate the kids.
Use their family against them.
What game is that?
Thick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that climbing one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. So you never know. You don't know who you'll meet. You don't know what will happen. there's like the random event chance, percent chance. You have a random encounter with somebody. It can happen. You never know though. It's expensive. Check. It's expensive to roll the dice and see what happens. But I mean, maybe. So that, yeah, nobody can answer that. It could be worth it. Maybe not. For meeting with publishers, don't bother with their booths. They may have booths there, but like if you just walk up and say, "Hey, I've got a game. Do you want to see it?" They'll say, "No, didn't you book a meeting with us a month ago?" Like all their meetings, their entire time is booked up a month ahead of time. They aren't going to just see you walking up to their booth. And they'll mostly meet you in hotel lobbies. And yeah, finding people to meet there is hard. And you don't even need the convention pass. You can just show up to the lobbies. And yeah, you'll need to book meetings 1 or 2 months ahead of time. And having now done this several times, like I met with like 30 different publishers at Game Developers Conference. That was kind of a waste of time. There was really only 3 or 4 that I had a chance with of like that actually aligned with what the game was. 30 was too much. There was like they would never have signed this anyway. But I guess it's their job to meet with people anyway. They're always just looking. Really, you should only check the top 5 and have meetings with those really. But again, if you're going, it feels like you should make the best of your time of like try to do 30. But again, I don't think you really have any chance with most of them. Any questions about these? Okay. Steam festivals. So some of them have associated Steam festivals. And Steam festivals are really good. If you're selling your game on Steam, you want to be a part of Steam festivals. So Valve really like pushes these. And it makes sense that they run the platform. They like it when you use their features. You want to be in those. Now, these are good stuff. These are good stuff. So we saw that like at most we could get 360 people to play your demo? Well, guess what? At a festival, you can have millions of impressions. Now, impression just means that it shows your capsule art to somebody. That doesn't mean they necessarily click on it. But having millions of eyeballs pass over your art is good. And that's literally how marketing works. You can get millions of impressions, and from these festivals, you can have thousands of people download and play your demo from the online festival. That's certainly a lot better than the, 360 in-person people we got, or like 720 if you two computers. That's 720 demo plays versus potentially thousands, tens of thousands, if your game is very popular. So these are the real deal. There's no throughput problem with these online ones because they're playing at home on their own computer. You don't need to bring a computer for them to play on. They can play at home on their own computer for as long as they want, as many of them as we want. You could have millions of people play your game. So there's no problem with scale using online demos. There's no problem with scale. And you're already on Steam, so you're already doing this. So these are really good. So it could be worth it just for this. Like really even showing up. You could just like rent the booth space and then not even show up. Maybe that's worth it. I don't know. They might not be very happy with you if you did that. But really, that could be where the true value maybe comes in.
So typically, like Gamescom or like PAX, they'll do festivals.
They normally do.
And
yeah.
only if you attend and have a booth, you might be.
Yep. They'll put your game on there. Now it really does depend how popular these festivals are per show, and like Steam, if Steam puts it on the front page, as you can see here, Day of the Devs got to be like this whole front page ad on it. So some shows get the front page treatment, and if they don't get the front page treatment, they're garbage. But if they do get the front page treatment, good stuff. So you really have to research ahead of time, like how good these are and what they could do for you. Okay. So this is the real ticket here. Just the scale, because again, you can't make a living selling a few hundred copies of your game. You need to sell tens of thousands of copies, and this is where it could happen. Not showing it in person one at a time. Too slow. Can't do it. Physical stuff. Physical problems require digital solutions. Okay? Now, what about something that maybe you're surprised for? Did any of you sell game keys at your conventions. Now, if your game's not done, you don't do that. But yeah, when I was at PAX West, it was very common. If your game is out, people were selling their game keys for cash. Like you'd walk up and pay them $5 or $10 cash, and they'd hand you a Steam code. So you print out Steam codes and you sell it at some sort of steep discount, cheap enough, $5 or $10 that it's less than a single lunch. You're like, okay, yeah, sure, I'll try this game for $5. Here you go, cash. I was kind of surprised, and I talked to some people, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we made $1,000 selling keys for cash."
When you do that, do you? No, I'm not that familiar with the Steam codes.
Sure.
But when you do that, when you get a bunch of these codes, do you have to pay Steam or no? You
Nope.
completely bypass their fee.
Nope. Steam will give you as many keys as you like.
Okay.
That's nice of them. Yeah.
So if you do a steep discount, you're not paying Steam though, so
Nope.
it could be all right. You
Could be
do a
all right.
discount, maybe still come out on top of it,
Sure.
but a smaller discount.
Yeah. No, I mean, do it. If you attend, you should. If your game is out and you're at these showcases, like Kaiju Wars just came out recently, or had it. It had. I think it had just come out. Yeah. You should do that. May as well. Now, technically, if you're selling games in another country, you're supposed to file taxes and stuff. I assure you that nobody there ever does that. And you're not going to get in trouble if you sell $400 with Steam codes. Nobody's checking you for that. That amount actually might be under the limit. There is no doubt some limit where you're supposed to report on your taxes if you make so much X amount of money selling stuff. I wouldn't worry about it. I'm pretty sure the entire industry of artists selling stuff at these booths, they don't ever report on taxes. I'm pretty sure. But I'm not a lawyer. Don't. I'm not telling you to break the law, but how would they know? How would they know? Yep. Yeah, so it was very common practice. So several booths said they made thousands of dollars selling Steam codes with cash. All right, right on. Okay. So now let's say that you are going to go to a convention. You're going to have to give an elevator pitch. So every single person who walks up to your booth, you're going to spit out 2 to 4 sentences to them saying, "Hey, this is my game. Kaiju Wars is a 2D turn-based tactics game where Godzilla comes and attacks your city and you play as the outclassed military. It's a mix of Advanced Wars and Into the Breach. Would you like to play my game?" You're going to have to blurt out that sentence on repeat to 1,000 people every day. So let's do a very short exercise. This time I'm not going to give you much time here. I'm going to give you 5 minutes. Write a 2 to 4 sentence elevator pitch to play your demo on the floor for your game. All right, so you have 5 minutes. I will post that in the Discord. Okie dokie. Let's start with the online people first. I guess, Renee, could you give me your 2 to 4 sentence elevator pitch?
Yeah, so I've got it's a simulation game where you nurture your chosen planet as a god. You start small and physically build it up and protect the life that forms on it with your planet-wide powers.
Okay, that sounds very good to me. I guess. Yeah, no, that sounds pretty good. Did you say what the genre was?
Simulation game.
You said simulation
but
game. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, no, that sounds good. That's informative and short. I'd say that's good. Now say that 1,000 times in one day.
Yeah.
Okay, right on. What about Tristan?
Hi. So mine maybe is a little weird, but this is what I actually did at GCC, and it
Right.
worked pretty well. So okay, so I have the game essentially just kind of like when you start it, like so the screen's up, you can see it. I'm just kind of standing there, and then when someone walks by and they kind of like make the eye contact where they're like, "I'm interested." What I do is I go, "Hi, would you like to play my game?" And then if they go, "Yeah, okay," then I grab the controller and I say, "Here's your controller. You can sit down or stand if you'd like." And then they usually go, "Oh, I'd like to sit." So they grab the controller, sit down, and then they go, "Oh, so what's your game about?" And then I say, "I won't tell you anything, but I'll help you if you get stuck." And then I stand there and I watch them play until I need to say something or I don't. And then, because it's a very short demo, when they finish, then we talk and I say, "Oh, Adduced is a photography Metroidvania. It's like Pokemon Snap meets Animal World." And that I found really good because it just saves your voice. Like, I just like, the less I can say, the better. So, yeah.
Okay, interesting. Okay, the mysterious approach. You don't tell them what it is. You just say, "Would you like to play a game?"
I am
And then they
curious.
ask, "What's it about?" Nothing. Yeah.
Interesting.
I am curious because you left the explanation of what the game is and like how to think about it after they played the game. Did anybody like think the game like did they interpret it differently than you intended?
Not really, but there was this one guy. He was so crazy. He played the game and he just like speed ran it. It was like he got everything. He understood, and I was like, "Wow, that was great." And then he explained what the game was to me, and he said it like I wish I had recorded it. It was like perfect. He said it. He just explained this game. I was like, "Shit, I want to play that game. That sounds amazing." But I don't remember what he said. But yeah, no. So it was. People kind of got it, but yeah, it was fun talking after.
Did you ever have people decline, like say, "Do you want to play a game?" and then you didn't explain? Did they just say, "No, thanks"?
Yeah, they would decline at the like, "Oh, do you want to play my game?" They'd be like, "No," and I was like, "Okay." But I think only 3 people out of like 100 started playing and didn't finish it. So like most people, I think it's like because it's pixel art, and so you kind of know if you're into pixel art or not. So it's but
all right. Well, interesting. The mystery approach, the high you dare to risk it all. Interesting. Okay. All right. Owen.
My game is about organizing a crew of criminals to scheme and execute daring heists one after another. You recruit and build your crew to suit your choice of crime, plan out a perfect scheme, and then put them to work and hope it goes off without a hitch. Would you like to try it?
Did it say genre?
It didn't, but there's a lot of words that kind of imply, so I figured.
They are. I guess you could say like crime management.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's good. Yeah. Short and sweet to the point. All right.
You should start with something like, "Would you like to join a life of crime?"
Yeah. Would you like to commit crime?
Hey, Bub, you're coming with me, and then you like point a gun at him.
Yeah.
Get a load of this.
Can I have prop guns at the conventions?
Oh, they don't like that.
Oh.
Not in the U.S. Okay. Unless it's Texas, they like that.
Yeah.
All right. Mark?
It's a colony sim exploration game about dwarves delving deep depths while fending off from the denizens of the deep as you mine deeper.
Wow.
Unlock the mysteries of the inner planet while uncovering treasures untold, all while expanding your dwarven mining colony.
Okay, I love the D's. The alliteration's really good. The second sentence, you might just like be able to cut that out. Maybe. Any other thoughts? No, but playing as a colony sim with dwarves, that's a good first sentence for sure. Okay, right on. What about Ian?
I usually take a lot more time to
Yeah.
get a pitch, but
This is turbo mode.
This is the turbo mode version. Parsnip Planet is the definitive vegetal number go up farming synergy game. You drag and drop little parsnips with big personalities that grow into massive sacrificial offerings to a menacing galactic carrot. It's like the escalating scores of Balatcher with the adorable tactility of Sweet Game. Do you want to try our demo?
Okay, right on. Yeah, I guess you used 3 or 4 sentences there, so longer than most other people, but 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Right
good.
on.
Okay.
The 2-minute turbo version.
Yeah.
Cut me some slack.
No, it's all good. Yeah, no, that was good. I like the humor in that one for sure. All right, what about Russell?
I'm a Potato is a first-person survival sim where you grow crops, use machines to prep food, then launch those meals into a giant's mouth before you become lunch.
Okay, right on. So you did one sentence. You did mega turbo mode. Awesome. Yeah, I like the shorter. I think the shorter generally is the sweeter. I think that's really good. Very good. Awesome.
Well, mine's very basic. I was like, my turn-based roguelite with a class system that plays like a mix of the OG Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest, with the ability to swap classes and equipment between each class.
Okay, so you mentioned your inspirations right there in the one sentence. So Dragon Quest, Final Fantasy. Okay, sounds good. Yeah, one sentence. Good. Yeah.
Would you like to play Thick? It's an online multiplayer climbing game where you compete against your friends to try and summit first. It has the physics of heavenly bodies and the rage of getting over it.
Okay. Getting Over It, I think, is pretty famous. How many people here have heard of Heavenly Bodies? That doesn't mean necessarily it's bad. Would climbing fans know what that is?
Yes. That's actually how I found out about it. Is everyone kept coming up to my booth and being like, "It's just like Heavenly Bodies."
Ah,
And
okay.
I was like, "Oh."
Yes,
I'm
I
doing
actually know of the game. Yes,
this. Yeah.
but okay. Well, that's good then. That's kind of a secret signal that if they don't know what that is, you're an outsider.
Exactly.
Don't sit down. This is not for you. You can't come here. All right. Right on. So yeah, that's the turbo mode pitches. Notice how similar they are to like your Steam capsule. Like it's basically like your Steam capsule description, like the short description, but even shorter. It's like a turbo version of that. Okay. Okay, so good work. Good work doing that. Okay. So let's talk about online showcases. So what are they? So we talked about in-person conventions. Now, what about these online showcases? What is one? We talked about one earlier.
Summer.
Sure, yeah. Day of the Devs, I think that the Summer Games Fest, right, is the big one? Sure. Summer Games Fest. Do you know any other? So these are ones that like, they either like, they stream, they have a stream of a video and they show games on this video and they basically charge you to buy an ad in their stream.
Would be like a Nintendo Directs and
Yes.
PlayStation.
Yep. Whatever they're called.
Play, that's it.
Yep. Yep. Definitely. Summer Games Fest. Yeah, and then same deal with the Sony and whatever if Microsoft has something, I don't know. Yep. Do you know of any others?
The Jeff Keighley thing, basically.
Isn't I think that is the
that
Summer
is
Games
Summer
Fest,
Games,
but I
yeah.
mean he might do other ones too.
Yeah.
There are a few others. I guess I'm not going to bother writing down if you don't know them offhand. But there's a few others. So I guess they're online videos. So like the Game Awards, there's the PC Gaming Show, there's the Future Games Show at Gamescom, the Triple I Initiative, the Mix, Summer Games Fest, Galaxy's Gaming Showcase, Nintendo Direct, Xbox Game Showcase, Sony State of Play. These are all just like video streams that like maybe hundreds of thousands or millions of people watch. And you buy an ad to put your game in their video. It's just 2 hours of like trailers. Okay? So I guess we're not going to watch all of it, but we can just briefly see what one of them was about. Here, the PC gaming show. So this one had nearly 1 million views.
Welcome everyone to the PC Gaming Show pre-show. I am Frankie Ward and
Can't see it? Ah, you're right. Okay, so I just skipped to some part, so now they're just showing... All you do is you pay, and your trailer appears in a list of trailers. That's what it is. Yep, that's all it is. Is this RV there yet, or is this a different one? Okay, well that's it. You just skip through. Look, there's more, and there's like 2 hours. Copenhagen, okay. That might just be an ad for a city, but okay. That's nice.
It does look nice. Graphics are amazing in Copenhagen.
Okay, yeah, so that's what they look like. You just pay for an ad. And now, how much do they cost per minute to put your ad in one of these trailers? I mean, Oliver said something ludicrous for Summer Games Fest, which might be the most expensive one. What was it?
$250,000.
$250K. Wow, that's enough for a small house. That's a lot per minute. So big business. I suppose this is like the equivalent of like you buy an ad during the Super Bowl, something like that. Okay, these are the Super Bowl of video gaming, I suppose. Okay, now that's going to be the high end. Generally, they won't be quite as much. That's the best. That's the most expensive. So let's take a look at what some of the others are. So I guess we have, yeah, so there we go. Starting at the lower end, the Triple I Initiative is only $15,000. Now that's a newer one. That's run by the people who made Slay the Spire and a few other, like, basically the indie, the super successful 1% indie and 1%ers of indie world. Like, Slay the Spire and Balatro, they all get together and show off their games there because they're rich. But you can pay to be a part of that. Basically, the prices just increase as you go down for different shows. I guess the PC gaming show is kind of in the middle of $54,000, and then there's some others. But then, yes, the Summer Game Fest is the premier. That's the biggest. But this is for the big stuff. So, like, honestly, unless you can get in for free, this isn't really attainable for an indie like this. That's just way too much money. And really, are you going to get $54,000 in returns from that, from a 2-minute trailer? I don't really see how that could possibly work for an indie. If you're a triple A company, I suppose your marketing budgets are in the millions, and they're like, what on earth do we spend it on? Sure, that's nothing. Like if you have some games, like the marketing budget is equal to the development budget. Like Call of Duty, they spend like $60 million on $100 million on marketing. That's what they do. But you're not them. So you're probably not going to be doing it. Probably. Unless you get it for free. You can always email and ask. And if that ever works, come talk to me. I'd be very interested in seeing how you did it. Maybe stalk Jeff Keighley and like show up outside his house. Would you like to play a game? All right. Yeah.
The mystery.
Yeah. So could that possibly? I mean, I already kind of said that, but could that possibly be worth it? Could that possibly be worth it?
If you're already massive and established and that isn't the entire cost of your game or over that.
If you're already established, you wouldn't be here listening to me. So, yeah, like even for me, established, we have 4 employees. Nah, I'm not going to do that. But here, someone else did crunch some numbers for us. This guy, Chris Sikowski, on his website, Hard Market Game, he crunched some numbers on these showcases. He knew some games that did it. And he claims so median 24-hour follower increase on Steam in the 48 hours after showcase. Okay. So it looks like if you're going to bother doing these, he tracked these different shows. Triple I was both the cheapest one and also had the largest increase in wishlist followers. So it looks like 889 followers. Now, note, followers are different than wishlists. It's a little bit confusing. Followers are like better than wishlists. They get more notifications about announcements of the game. Wishlists only really you get an email when the game comes out and when it goes on discount. But if you're a follower, you get notifications when you post updates about your game. So followers are better than wishlists. So they convert better. Like if you got 89 followers, you certainly got way more than that wishlists. I don't know how many more, but some more. So I guess if you had to do one of these, I guess pick the cheapest one, because that was the one lowest on the list. Interestingly. It's interesting. Don't pay for the big ones. Not as good a return. So here's some more numbers. Let's see. Okay. List price per minute, number of games featured. So this one shows like, okay, the PC gaming showed 76 games, and the Triple I one only had 36. And so it had fewer games, so maybe it makes more sense that they got more attention than, the twice as many for games the PC games show. The median number of followers gained from that one, from whoever got this data, was 889. And the median dollar per follower is by far the best for that one. And back of the napkin gross revenue, I think, is that what they're thinking, like how much wish lists you got from that? I'd have to look up the article and see what they mean by that.
I think that's how much the show made.
Oh, that's how much the show made. Okay, how much the people who ran the show made. That makes sense of why they aren't putting check marks.
I don't think so, 'cause Triple I didn't have any ads.
Yeah, it says it on their website. I've never heard of them.
Yeah,
No
well,
ads,
they're
yet
small.
the whole thing is ads.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess if you're gonna bother doing it, go do the Triple I initiative if you have a bazillion dollars to spend. If you get Canada Media Fund grant and get like hundreds of thousands of dollars, you could consider it. You could, maybe, but that's a lot. But yeah, could it possibly be worth it? Generally, the answer is maybe. If you're already viral, like if your game already does super well, unlike Reddit, like 5,000s of upvotes already, or your YouTube Shorts or Instagram posts or TikTok, whatever's, do very well already, maybe it could be worth it. It's like a super mega viral trailer. It could be, or you have wishlist to burn. But generally, the dollar per follower wishlist is still bad. Sadly, you're probably still just better off buying $15,000 worth of Google and Facebook ads. Probably. Which is sad, but I guess that's marketing. But it does have prestige. It's hard to calculate how much that means, but you could leverage it with other events. Like say, hey IGN, I'm gonna reveal a trailer of my game. Like this is the first time my game's ever been announced. I'm gonna put in the Triple I initiative, but I'm gonna put that in there, but I'm gonna let you, IGN, have my trailer. Like you get to post it like at the same time as the Triple I initiative showcase goes on. Sometimes press websites care about like exclusivity of trailers, of like they want to be the first ones to post it, and they like literally you when you write them say, hey, you get first dibs. I'm not gonna let anybody else post my trailer for several days. Eventually, other websites do re-upload your trailer, but like to some websites like IGN, they do care about this sort of thing. So you could leverage it with others for big timing events. And say, hey, we're on a Triple I, that's pretty cool. IGN, you should post my trailer too. And they're like, yeah, sure. You're a big boy. We'll do that. You could. But yeah, this is for kind of big dogs. You gotta be a big dog. Okay. All right. So, in summary, about in-person conventions for showcasing your games, sadly, they don't give you enough wish lists. The numbers don't lie. Unfortunately, the feedback quality is both low and expensive. And in general, conventions are just too expensive for indies unless there's mitigating factors. Again, maybe the government pays for half your trip. Maybe your booth is free. I would not recommend going to a convention unless some of those conditions are, at least one of those conditions are true. Again, a free booth and or the government pays for half your trip. That's like the minimum. And even then, still think like, is it still worth my time and effort to do it? But if both those are true and you like traveling, sure, make it a holiday. Okay? Focus more on online festivals where there's no problem with throughput. And that's where you get millions of impressions and tens of thousands of people can download your demo and play it rather than the hundreds that you could get from an in-person convention, all that work. Okay? Any questions about this? Okay, right on. Just remember, the numbers don't lie, and they spell disaster, okay? But again, it does depend, but I would say on the whole, probably not worth it for indies unless there's mitigating circumstances, okay? And that's something that, everyone likes to think like, oh, I dream to go do these showcases, and it turns out you're better off like spending that time at home and then buying a few $100s of ads would get you kind of the same thing. All right. All right, so there we go. All right, so that's it for this talk. We're done with conventions forever now. But hopefully you learned some things. If you've already been to conventions, hopefully, this is now interesting, or maybe you already came to some of these conclusions on your own. But again, there are other benefits as well. I'm not saying like you're stupid. If you go to a convention, you're an idiot. I'm not saying that. But on the whole, generally don't. Unless there's a bunch of other things to help you. Okay? All right. So that's going to be it for conventions. I'll send the slides. So, despite saying how, don't go to conventions, your homework will be to book a one-on-one online meeting with me. Don't worry, this month I'm available for more time slots this month. I'm less busy. And now your homework is going to be pretend you're going to go to the video game convention of your choice. I want you to do some research, more research on that. I want you to write like a one-page convention plan with realistic goals of like, I hope to get 500 wish lists. That's like a realistic goal. I hope to meet with 10 publishers or something. A realistic travel and budget spreadsheet. 3 versions of your elevator pitch, like a 15-second, like a 1-sentence, a 2-sentence, and like maybe like a 5 or 10-sentence version. A sketch of your booth layout. What would that look like? And if you were paying attention, this all stuff's pretty easy. You already saw a lot of this stuff. A list of items to bring. And then a follow-up email template for players, press, and publishers. So people signed up to your wish. They either sign up to your wish list or your email list or join your Discord. What do you send them? Thanks for playing my game at PAX. My demo just got updated. Here's some new features. Please give us feedback. That sort of thing. And then a short reflection on what would you actually need to do to actually attend this dream convention. Probably it's like make a demo. But yeah, anything else like trailer and stuff like that. Okay. And if you haven't already, get those 4 formal playtests with internet strangers. Do that if you've not done it. And even if you've already done it, you should do it again. And then the next mentorship will be Tuesday, August 4th. All right, any other questions? I'll email you these.
So the goal of this is to, in the hypothetical imaginative, if I had $6,000
Yes.
to GS, that kind of thing, make it the most effective trip possible.
Yeah, it could be the most effective trip, or maybe it is the most realistic of like, maybe I would go to the Edmonton one, maybe. Like that's one you could go to again. Or Toronto or something. It's up to you.
So like when you went to Gamescom and you had your
Sure.
I guess you used your B2B access stuff without any of the hiring booth bullshit. You just
Yes.
talk to people and go get some Wiener Schnitzel and have fun in Germany. That kind of
That's
thing.
right.
How much would that cost? And that's another thing we can research as part of this as well. Is like
Yep.
alternative, like go to TGS or whatever, have this ticket that's like,
Yep.
well, I will talk to Capcom about,
Yep.
this new Mega Man game I have. Just it's gonna be big.
It's gonna be the best.
Yeah, the gritty reboot. So
Sure.
like based off your experience, what does that usually cost to get that access, and is that number that's available online somewhere?
Yeah. So the Games Developer Conference. Yeah, they have they'll tell you the business pass. Yeah, whatever that cost. Yeah, it should be available online.
But
And yeah,
less-
you can
less
also
than
bring into like a realistic one and be like, I wouldn't go unless I got a Creative SaaS grant. Like you just say, I'm going to get $1,000 from the government to pay for my trip, half the trip. That's a reasonable thing to also put in your homework. And notice that like if you actually do this, this is kind of like almost all that you need to apply to Creative Sask to actually go to a convention. They don't ask for like a lot more than this. So if you ever were to go, you can use this and just change where it is you're going.
So, by the way, out of all the conventions that you did go to,
Yep.
What was the most worth it? And
Sure.
was it worth it? Like retrospectively, like was there benefits from going and doing everything you did?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I got to teach you guys. I got to do it. But sure.
Priceless.
I guess the Games Developer Conference is there's the business to business one. That's where all the professionals were. That's where I met with 30 publishers. That's where I got like the best meetings with the current publisher I'm working with. So I guess I would say that to me that was the most worth it because again, showcasing my game, I didn't feel it was worth it through like the throughput in the numbers. But then talking to the publishers eventually years later yielded something. So I would say that was the most effective one for me. Yeah. Yeah, like to be honest, like yeah, getting the booth to show my game wasn't worth it.
I think you and I have talked before, but you said in the future, like if you go, you might not even buy a ticket to the event and just go to the hotel and plan the publishers and do all that, save more than
Yep.
half the price or whatever.
Yeah.
You could. And then
Yep.
still have Creative Sask pay for your flights, half your flights and hotel.
Less money wasted.
Yes. Yep. Indeed. Okay, we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
No problem.